Yo, 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 what's Papino? What's Papino? Zeke Black is in the building. Zeke Black is in the building. This is something different, but it's not different. I'm on StreamYard right now, so for those that want to chime in, you can chime in. We can have this conversation. There was a conversation I seen on because I've been on Clubhouse lately. I've been on Clubhouse and YouTube Bloods. YouTube Bloods. I took some content. A piece of a conversation I was having with Corey King. It was good. Top of the morning. Smalls was popping. And in a piece of the conversation that they took, Corey King was explaining the situation where somebody said, yo, in so many words, Zeke, when you was up north, you never put no work in. And I want to talk about that because I'm happy that came up. First and foremost, when I was up north, I had a whole lot of money. Not to brag, but I had a whole lot of money. I didn't need for nothing. Sean Stone was popping. Prime salute. Smalls was popping. I had a lot of money up north. I had a lot of money. I wasn't getting the bag. I wasn't nothing extra. I wasn't selling sticks of weed in the yard. I had a lot of commissary. Salute, John. So, with that being said, I didn't have to put myself so much on the front lines because I was financially okay. Now, the second thing is, this may sound a little weird to some of y'all, is that I had a little influence because I know a lot of people. So by me knowing a lot of people that have a lot of respect for me, people that was in the yard, that was already in some of these yards, was like, yo, Zeke, what's up? You my man. You know what I'm saying? So I never really had to put myself on the front lines. For those that know me, they've been in any jail with Zeke Black, I spent the yard all day. That's all Zeke really did was walk the yard. I was in basically every recreational service that was available to me. I was never like sitting in the dorm all day. I wasn't a dorm guy. I wasn't a guy, even in 5 points, I went to the yard, little library for no reason, but library for a reason. So I wasn't one of those that had to be an S1W sharpshooter and jump out the window. I wasn't like, when you're a little older and it's how people respect you. Now, see, I was you know me. So when you say that I wasn't putting no work up north, I wasn't in the position to put no work up north. I mean, know what I'm saying? No, exactly. I'm not. No. Just to give people the story because I see that flying around, and all due respect to the New York YouTube Bloods for putting that piece of the content out. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people say, "Oh, he was putting the work up." Okay, but I really didn't. I wasn't into feeding. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't into feeding. Dudes that I thought that if you're a criminal, you should be fucked up north. So I wasn't into the whole pot thing. I wasn't into if you wash my hands, you get a plate of food. I wasn't into that. I was eating good up north. I was pretty well. Like I said, I would order my own sneakers, my own garments. Every commissary I spent, not because I used to gamble, so I buy a carton of cigarettes, and I used to smoke Black and Milds and buy 10 packs of those. So my commissary, so say. Little commissary every 2 weeks, right? Isn't it? Every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I spend like close to $300 a month in prison for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? 4 years. 4 years. 4. I ain't start getting visits to the end of my bed. Getting, I even bought somebody a car from the penitentiary. Just so that, and I wasn't getting into the bag. I was in the yard hustling. So something that a lot of you guys may not understand is something called respect. It's my favorite Puerto Ricans in the building. It's something called respect. And I'm gonna teach you how far respect takes you. Respect takes you, right? I spent the yard with a nigga they called an op. He was actually an op. Ain't nothing happened to him, and I was spending the yard with him. Maybe he was in the max, it might have went down, but where he was at, it didn't go down. I ain't got to say the spot because dudes know what I'm talking about. Because I ain't trying to put nobody, other homies that was in the building name on the line on this one. But he was just an official nigga. But one thing I'm going to definitely say is that when certain dudes pull up, certain areas come together like Brownsville, Brooklyn. certain Brownsville cats come through. That's them Brownsville cats get together like Long Island. They dudes get together. They're never gonna understand exactly. Never gonna understand that, right? He just said, see, it's a lot of times like my man, like a good friend of mine used to say, Cosmo Bay's in the building. Smalls, I like what you just said right there. A good friend of mine, you know what I'm saying? A good friend of mine said, it's what he said. People don't respect people. What he said, man, he said, just because you a homie doesn't mean people gotta respect you. People respect the person. And that's what I think a lot of y'all get these conversations mixed up. A lot of dudes just don't be respected. So they get caught up just being gang members. Not just Bloods or Trinidadios or Patrias. Now, that's touching on that. The second thing is hit the like button. The second thing is just hit the like button, wake some couple good people up. Top of the morning. The disco baller, Blue Boy situation. It got personal behind the scenes. That was something that was gassed and manipulated. That was a conversation that they both need to have. And and shout out to the guys of Neighboy. Him and Disco had a conversation on the phone. The Disco and Neighboy, the guy that you see with the homie that you see with Blue Boy. I hope by now they had a conversation, but they spoke on the phone one time, and that's all I heard. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but shout out to Disco Baller. Top of the morning. You're just getting some of this good breakfast in your soul, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty. The nitty-gritty of the city, you know what I'm saying? People gotta learn to leave the past in the past. Cosmo Bay, that is so important what you just said right there. People have to learn to leave the past in the past. Very glory. Dudes are too old for the conspiracy talk. My bad. Leave the past in the past. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I'm doing something different today. Hold on. For those that want to jump in the StreamYard, y'all can. I got a StreamYard today. We can do some StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? Oh God, here goes my brother. It's the phone call early in the morning. Now, this is where it gets crazy. I got the StreamYard up. If you see I'm on live Bad Vibes. I'm on StreamYard. You might be at work though. I shout this Bad Vibes. I think he's calling me. People are getting too old for this foolishness. There's this foolish stuff. And you know what? Hold on one second. I got the StreamYard right there for those that want to jump in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He just hit me. We're going to do something different today because you know what I'm saying? Let me call the brother back. Yeah. It's time for dudes to live their life, man. He just called me. Now, the Blue Boy situation, that Blue Boy situation is crazy because as we know, with the Blue Boy situation, now one-on-one, you ain't missing nothing. Jail is jail, and I don't know, peace, Seven Guard. I don't know why we take so much pride in the prison system. I don't know why, because it played a large part to some of our lives at some point in time, as in our 20s. Like some people in their 20s got money, and then they went to jail. Then you got some people that went to jail a lot, so we take that as a badge of honor. Like I told you, because you know what, it's Mac Jones. I like what you said right there. You know what I'm saying? Why put work in? That's what make Bloods a gang instead of an organization. Foolishness. I like that because as we see now on these social networks, a lot of brothers that put working together, they got a lot of negative things to say about each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, let's say I'd have lost 2-3 bids, or let's say I'd have caught 2-3 new bids putting in work. I still, in some people's eyes, would have been a BAN, a sucker, just what he is. And so it doesn't make sense. Let's make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So as I say, let's make it make sense. We gotta have these conversations, right? Now, I see some great things going on, man. I like looking at we're locked in by Mikey B. That's a great thing they're doing, because it's intelligent brothers using their intelligence. And yes, and part of our life using the penitentiary, and this is what was going on. But this is who I am as an individual. And that's what I think separates a lot of you guys from what I'm about to say, the individuality. A lot of you guys don't have an individual. They're not individuals. Your names just all have to be included with somebody else's name. It has to be included with something else. But how about the person? Who are you as a person? Who are you? And that's the question. But Smack Jones said right there is because it's a bunch of dudes. Everybody said they put all this work in. For what? You know what I'm saying? You're not extorting the prison system. You're not extorting. You're not extorting corn. Even bang, exactly. They gotta have these conversations. What made a lot of these dudes, they might have did a couple of things in the street was, but people been cutting in jail, so we can't say the New York Blood started that. We can't say that. It's just like Hollywood, right? The big crip that was running around New York State prison that can fight. The reason why he probably didn't lose 2 lungs for, because as an individual, dudes knew he knew how to fight. Plus, he got busy. So as an individual, yeah, we want to tear him up because he crip, but we know when once you try him, he's going to go all the way with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's the individual. Then when it comes to gang time, like certain individuals that's outnumbered, then, you know, it's like with anything else. And the reason why we got to have this conversation for, because what happened to the individual? So you tell me, when you step into a yard, talk about a guy like me who's up in the yard for 4 years, and know 5 Latin Kings, a DDP, just came home, Trinidadio, 2 dirty Muslims. And that's the whole moral of the story. Now, algorithm network, and this is what I like. You hit it on the nose. I'm a civilian. But I've always been a civilian. See, I'm about to fuck your head up, right? I've always been a civilian. I just happened to join an organization. But I've always been a civilian. So this is how you have 2 kids in college and things go great, because I've always been a civilian. I just happen to be part of a movement at one point in time in my life. Because only online, somebody said, oh, Zeke, you wasn't part of this because these guys online said this. You know what I'm saying? But I like that, because you know what? That goes to show the energy I put out there ain't gang shit. That's a win for me. That's a win for me, because it's all about the individual. I'll pull up in the yard, they do their little count. I'm spinning the yard. I'm not standing with the homies all day, because you stand with the homies all day. It's senseless. It's a lot of conversations that really turns into a lot of somewhat gossip, a lot of who's in the building. And you don't want to be caught up in those conversations. Because when you get caught up in those conversations, that's how somebody goes, hey, you got the next plate. Because it's just like a job where everybody's been around each other and you're the new guy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm gonna do? Because this is how we get this fool out of here, man. Because now you see, we're not here for Jojo Capone's in the building. I like what Jojo Capone just said. You're still a gang member if you still took chances. If you was still chances, you spin in the yard again. Exactly. I'm not. I haven't went back to jail, Jojo Capone, in the last 11 years. I've been working. I tried to create my own business, Jojo Capone. You know what I'm saying? Good afternoon, feed the wolves in the chat room. So I'm not. I'm a civilian. So now we can't get mad at me being a civilian. You know what I'm saying? I am a civilian. But there's a part of my life, like before I went to jail, that I have the right to speak upon, because I was a part of different organizations in my lifetime. And I can speak upon this. And I can speak about my time in the organization. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I think? I think information, man. Seven guards in the building. You know what I'm saying? But I look at that as information, and we all hate this. We all hate this. But there's a generation in New York. You know what I'm saying? I like what P&L Recording said. Salute Joe Mo. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that. I like that. I like because you're being honest. If I'm having a conversation about the same thing, there's something stuck there. So I like what he said right there. You see that he's not being disrespectful. See, sometimes we can't look at reality as disrespect. It's just like with wifey. Wifey will tell me I'm doing something wrong, and I'll just deflect it with, "Oh, what you talking about? You bugging out." When I know that she's right. Because that's one thing a lot of us picked up, is that we picked up the word deflection. You know what I'm saying? We don't like to hear the truth. So that's one of the things that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? Is the truth. Learn to live with the truth. Learn to live with reality. Because sometimes when you live with the truth, right, and somebody goes, okay, my gang and your gang is two different gangs, right? Because when I was gang banging, we were selling 30 kilos allegedly. Your gang was derived off of cuttings in jail. That's the stories that I get in my market. Two different energies. So a lot of us, we was able to purchase homes, houses, and land. The only thing y'all got is a bunch of war stories about black on black crime, black and brown crime. I mean, black and brown crime is everywhere. But you know what I'm saying? So that's for free. But where's the benefit of what you did and what you put in? And I'm learning as I'm getting older. It's about mature. It's about being a little mature, bro. It's about, something called manning up. I love definitely. I got this club. I mean, I got the thing popping right now. If y'all want to jump in the StreamYard, y'all can. StreamYard, the link is in the line. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this is real serious, man, because I'm learning. That's one thing we don't like to hear the truth, bro. We don't like to hear the truth. Like you know what's funny? Whack 100, right? People say, "Oh, Whack he be causing deflection between New York cats." He says things, and he got New York going at New York. Definitely, Jojo. If you want to pull up Jojo, you can. He got New York cats doing this and doing. He don't got us doing nothing that we don't want to do. He's not doing nothing that we're not allowing him to do, bro. He's not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's not from here. So there's no way that he's online and he got us going crazy. There's no way that Whack 100 got us arguing online with a conversation over him. It's all entertainment to him because it's the bag to him. It's called marketing 101. Somebody said the other day, algorithm, that's all he's doing. He's creating himself to be a voice of something. And once you sit back and watch what he do, if you're a student of game, it's good, AR Brooklyn. If you're a student of game, you're gonna sit there and go, yo, I gotta do what he do. He has an influence in the music industry. He brings them around. He creates this image that I can make things happen. You're watching my life. You'll see what I'm doing, and I'm gonna show you dudes we could get a bag. And when you show me we could get a bag, some people They want the bag so fast that they fuck the bag up because they start, that's when the cutthroat, and yo, he's a sucker, and he's soft, and you know what I'm saying? The bag, the bag is not a violent bag. Exactly. Eastside Neutral says, brother, it's crazy how there's 40, 50-year-olds all arguing about who put work in. I mean, if you're 30 plus years old and you're still balling out, that just makes you feel foul. I seen something that the New York YouTube Bloods posted, right? And I mentioned this the other day. I said, Big is. He did like a bunch of like 10 years or 15 years the first time, I believe. How you go back for 45 years? You understand? The putting in work and not changing the stinking thinking sends you back for more time. So what was smart about that? So when you want to come on a platform and expose dudes, what's smart about that? We had to start asking dudes, what's the most educational thing you told me in the how you want to blow his head off or how you want to put work in or this dude is this and this guy is that? What's the most important thing? Because I need to know. Do you own 5 pieces of property? I don't want to hear about you're plugged to the soda to the corner store. My man got the. What do you have for you that's gonna make me to inspire to go, yo, this game member nigga, he's making many things happen. It's just conversations, borracheros. It's borracheros. Okay, you right? Then we got those that's attempting to do the right thing, and then dudes do this to them. They saw, or he was a plate, or he got kicked out the whip. Because they became individuals and said, you know what? Me being a gang member is what has set me back. I can't forget where I came from. That's right. That's thinking. Small as you already know. It has set me back. But moving forward, when I'm myself, exactly, salute Saladin. But when I'm myself, right, I can win. Look at what Mel Cross is doing. Look at what when we speak of Saladin's in the building, J.E. Moneybags in the building. Look at all the people that get bashed. You know what I'm saying? Deputy shout out to Ricky Brown in the building. He was there. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Mel Crosses. Look at the Pee-wees. Pee-wee got like a youth organization with the city. Or he was doing that. But these are the guys that we bring their names up. Only thing we can attach them to is gang. Oh, because this guy and that guy. Understand this. If I go right now and go, yo, son, what's up with such and such? I heard you doing something with the kids. Nah, man, we don't fuck with the nigga because he was a plane or he was a deal or yo, son. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference in the conversation. Oh, nah, nobody can remember my head. It's just that I gotta have these conversations, Ted. You know somebody's coming from my kufi, you know what I'm saying? You know somebody was like taking a shot, dang. But it was just a conversation that was brought up on Clubhouse, and you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I wasn't on that type of because I was always a clean person. I like to wash my hands, wash my face. I like to eat good. I like to hold hands and be in love. Now, I'm gonna keep it honest, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So now when you're doing the right thing, you're soft. Push that knife. Word, you got 3,000 subs. Push that knife. Zach, congratulations to Push That Knife from Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that exactly. So the individuality. So now what happens is, yo, think about when you become an individual and you're part of something, which is weird, right? Because when you was outside, when you wrote graffiti, you did good, people congratulated you. Yo, son, even on your retirement, even on your fallback, nah, son, that's my man, son. I love son, man. That's my guy. I love him, right? Then you have a generation of dudes that when you fall back, you'll hear a sucker, man, or he this or he that. That's crazy. Once you find your individuality. And that's J.E. Moneyback. Shout out to J.E. Moneyback. So I've been preaching the real estate um, for I think for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Who? What? You know what I'm saying? Actually, Ted Kennedy, it was a conversation that was had on Clubhouse between me and somebody else. And they brought up that somebody said somewhere that, yo, when you was up north, you wasn't putting in no pain. Had nothing to do with the name you just said right there. You know what I'm saying? See? Had nothing to do with the name you said right there, brother. All the way wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, now back to Jay Moneyback. You see the most productive part of the conversation. I got 5 properties I own outright. He's a guy from my streets. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy from my communities. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. I got you. Check it out. I don't know the other stuff. Got you. Salute. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I think that's the image that people are trying to give out. That to be black, you got to be cool. You got to be down. You got to be a shooter. No doubt. Peace to the gods. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think we take our power from. Like I said, people like J.E. Moneybags. He owns 7 properties, like 5 properties. I speak to him mostly every day. We kick it every day. And he also does construction. Bad vibes come in the building, but you know what I want bad vibes to do when you hop in. I want you to hop in here, bad vibes. I don't want to speak about what happened last night. I want to hear bad vibes story. I don't want to. We're not going to sit and talk about nothing else. I want to talk about. I learned this now. We got to keep it on the individual because your truth, your personal truth, supersedes anything else that's said about you in the background, bro. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. You know what I'm saying? Because okay, I dropped the link. Like I said, you come up, have a good time, tell your story. What made you? Because I realized something. We keep fighting to be accepted, but what don't want us. You know what I mean? So am I gonna keep wasting my time arguing about something all day, trying to prove something, go commit a B or C or A felony for something that doesn't want to accept me at the age of 48? I'm okay. I'm not doing bad. I don't have no respect. Peace,
Peace,
peace.
peace, Uncle Black. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, brother. Top of the morning. Solid Dean's in the building, man.
Good morning. This one of those conversations I just had to weigh in real quick, man. But first and foremost, I always say you you one of the reasons I'm even in this game. So, I watched your show, which inspired me to,
Yeah,
I learned about '05 kind of brim. Me and him got together, and that's how the universe works. So first, I want to give you your respect, bro. Thank you so
yeah,
much for being an inspiration to me. Second of all, I want to thank China Brim for, giving me a platform as well. That being said, shout out to Bad Vibes. I don't know what happened last night. I
yeah,
don't want to know. I'm gonna keep it with you. I don't even want to know. But I met Bad Vibes over there, and shout out to him. On the topic that you discussing, man, I was on your show a while back, and you had me on there, and I don't know if you remember me telling you that. See, I think about this often. What would make a person not want to mature to a level, right? He's going against the grain, so the maturity has been involuntary up until a certain point, right? So we don't stay 5 forever. At a certain you just keep on maturing, but then at a certain age, someone will stunt their own growth. You understand what I'm saying? And they have to have a reason to do it would make them stunt their own evolution, their own maturity. They have to see value and not moving forward. They have to see something, say here, and say, yo, it's working for me right here, bro. Why would I want to be more mature? Like, I'm comfortable right here. Slashing niggas in the face, extorting niggas, punching niggas in the mouth. I'm a knockout artist. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm known as knocking niggas out. You understand? If I change that, who am I? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who am I? Like, you know that. So my value has changed in the hood. You know what I'm saying? My value has changed in jail. My value has changed in their head, right? We don't want to take the time to reinvent ourselves because then that would take work. You understand? So we're just going to ride off a reputation that we created when we was 18, and we're going to go with that. So
Keep
here we
talking,
are at
Solid. Keep
40.
talking.
Yeah, no problem. Here we are at 40, and we really, you know, it's like we in our head it's justified. The actions that we taking, they're justified, and we're gonna always try to rationale to the people why this makes sense, right? More and more people you get, this is that group thinking that comes along because you always going to have some people that's not as strong as other people in the community, right? So as long as that person is saying, you know what I'm saying, son, real shit, these niggas is fake, son, these niggas, then the other niggas gonna nod along and they be like, word, son, these niggas is fake, these niggas is bitch ass niggas, word. So then you get a lot of people that don't want to look like a bitch ass nigga because someone, excuse me, they're letting someone with the narrative. They're letting someone run off with the definition of the so-called real individual, the person we call in this culture the real nigga. You understand what I'm saying? That definition has never really been defined because we keep asking each other, what is a real nigga though? What is a real nigga? What is a real? Is there more than one meaning to the real nigga? But when we let certain individuals hold the definition of a real one, and then he exploits the culture. He exploits the African American culture. He exploits your children. You understand? He exploits your husband, your father. Your father went to jail trying to be a real nigga. Your uncle been locked up for God knows long trying to be a real nigga. Because we let these individuals run off with the fucking word of what it meant to be real. Nah, fuck that. So when the other real rights come in and they try to shout out to Smitty Brim that just got in the building, man.
Yes.
The other real rights that really try to get in the building and they say no, we need to fix this thing. Then there's going to be controversy going back and forth because they don't want to give up that seat. Nah, niggas over here on that soft shit. Niggas ain't talk about nothing. They not built for this. Who the fuck want to be built for jail, nigga? All right, let's stop bullshit.
Yeah.
All right,
Who's built for it?
come on. I don't want your son in jail. I don't want my son in jail. I don't want enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. But it takes certain individuals to get up here and call right, and wrong. That's it, Z. You
Yeah,
understand? They
because
don't want.
you know what happened? Oh, hold on a second. Yeah.
That's a fact, true story. Because you did time don't make you real. But again,
I
true story.
tried.
Sounds like this message. I don't have anybody in mind when I'm speaking. You understand? Because it makes if I have somebody in mind, usually, all right. Here's my thing. Since I got on YouTube, I'm gonna just say your name because I don't want niggas. You got sensitive thugs that run around here and automatically assume, oh, this nigga up there talking about me.
Yeah, totally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what I do is I make it a point to say your name in the video if I'm talking about you, or if I have your number, guess what I do? I pick up the phone and I call you. Yo, son, we got a problem. What's up? Easy. That's
Because you know
how
what?
men
You know what
communicate, though.
I realized there's a generation of us, and I said this on Clubhouse a week ago. There's a generation of us that have an identity crisis. And you would think that if young boys beefing all day on Clubhouse, y'all going back and forth. But it's a generation of the 35 and over from New York. I'm gonna say from where I'm from. I don't know what the other dudes is doing. That we're going back and forth all day. Disrespecting each other, disrespecting our legacies. And it boils down to something's wrong here. So there's an anti-crisis. So then now I do my research, because a new word I've been picked up was due diligence. And I began to listen to people. I learned to shut up and really ask somebody their life story. And when you hear their life story, yeah, I was outside, but a lot of dudes start talking about jail. I was in Spofford. I was in Boom. I was in Tryon. Then I was in the Fort. Oh, I didn't even realize I'm really talking to a person that's been institutionalized all his life. So no wonder your confidence, what you think is real to the real to the world, is the penitentiary, because that's where you've been at 60% of your growing ages. When I mean the growing ages is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Those are the learning stages. Those are the stages where you're learning, and you got to pick a move. By the time you're 30 years old, then it's a different stage of your life. A lot of these dudes, they self-esteem come from being in jail and fighting dudes, bro. I said, you got to start listening to what, because you can clean yourself up, but the brain is still the same. I learned to listen, bro. I learned to listen. I said, y'all niggas ain't jailbirds. Y'all niggas is institutionalized.
Institutional. And Zeke, let's keep it real. This was a weapon used on our people. So when I talk, I have the empathetic mindset to see where my brothers are coming from. I have the mindset of saying, okay, first of all, if we put 25 from the hood in a room, 20 of them been locked up. You understand? And these is loose statistics, but I'm pretty sure I can go and find out the real statistics and see that more than a few of our men have been locked up in our culture, and therefore this causes this creates a bond. This creates an affinity. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a fraternity. It's a fraternity in a sense where they say, okay, yeah, we've been to jail. We've been to jail together. These niggas don't they don't know nothing. They're not real ones. It was real in fucking jail. We had to do this, we had to do that, we had to do that. So when I come along and I try to show them, all right, bro, how do I say this politely? Okay, you went to jail because there was something involved that involved breaking the law, whether you were guilty or not. They found you guilty of breaking the law. You understand? So right then and there, let's not create a badge of honor, okay, for this shit, unless you went in there for fighting for the people, unless you went in there for fighting for our civil rights and breaking black law codes and stuff like that, and Jim Crow laws. If you went in there for that, then that's different. But I'm not going to allow you to make it seem like a badge of honor because you sold a bundle of dope, you caught a bunch of years, and then now we supposed to give you a trophy, my nigga, because you went there, you came home. I'm happy you're home. Don't get it twisted. I'm happy you're home. But the narrative is also teaching our little babies, yo, that's part of becoming a man. That's when Saladin come in and say, yo, fuck we talking about in here? None of that. You did 20 years and you home. God bless you, bro. But let's not make it seem like we want all our young people to go 20 years and gonna come home and give them their trophies and give them all type of attention. No, let's show them attention right now. Fuck are we doing? We showing all these niggas that come home 20 all this attention. So, and naturally in the young boy's head, he don't mind going to jail. He like, yo, when I come home, I'm still gonna be relevant. No skill sets, though.
That's deep what you said right there, because I know a lot of guys, man, that when they caught their first bid, they did 10, 20 years. And that's the first time being in jail. First time doing longer than a week in the penitentiary, they caught 10, 20 years because they caught Fed cases, or they caught a body by accident, or they caught the manslaughter charges, 5 to 15, and it wasn't a badge of honor to these guys, man. A lot of guys felt like they lost the streets because They was in jail. They just got caught up in crime. Because a lot of people, like you said, got caught up in. If you ain't caught up in the Jim Crow laws or the protests against the
Civil
people,
rights.
then basically you was a product of your environment of what was going on. You just got caught up. And a lot of guys got a lot of jail time for not copping out and going all the way to trial. There's a bunch of dudes I know that they offered a 1 or 3 2 for a crack sale. And that's when they was getting 25 for 80, 30, 25 because they want to go to trial with TNT sales. Not saying that all of them are guilty, but there's a lot of dudes that put a lot of time because they decided not to take the 8 years or the 6 years. Knowing that they did it.
Exactly.
Now I'm going all the way. I can beat this shit. And so what happens is you become this product that you're creating, but it's not a monetary product of culture. You understand what I'm saying? And there's no way that you can be doing the right thing and you're doing well, and the person to tell you, out of all you've done in your life, you cut another off. Like that takes everything that you've done in your whole lifetime. There's no achievements. Don't care if you own the company. We don't care. I'm just using myself as an example. We don't care if you got 2 kids in college. That shit don't matter. When you was up north, you ain't go gun for nobody. Now look at the logic. But there's a fraternity of individuals. That's what you have to, it's called, you have to move away from that because there's a fraternity of individuals that look at that as reality. So you have to remove yourself from that reality because once you become an individual, your story sounds a whole lot greater. I learned this shit, bro. Yo, bro, I learned this. Yo, you know, something, man. Is I like to build with brothers like you because, like, I see what Mikey B is doing with Moshe. That's a good thing because these guys they're showing their individuality. So now, when you speak on the individual, people can attach themselves to that unless some type of controversy. Because think about this. Like, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, right? I go, yo, you know what? Even in the mafia, right? We don't know that. We don't know who's the worst mob bosses because they don't speak about that. They only talk about rats, right? Like they say the rats. We gotta be the only gang in the world that the father, 6 of the funding fathers are considered crackhead, dope fiend, snakes, and rats. I've seen shit like that before. So if you say these are your funding fathers, you have to understand the state of the same gang you're claiming today. If you're saying that at least 8 good names is no good. Think about this. No good. Crackhead, he a dope fiend. Yo, son, he was doing that he cut him for yo, son, and such. Nah, son, he a rat. These are the funding fathers that created something. So what do y'all expect is going to come positive out of that? Think about what I just said.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Listen, I'm going to take y'all back to some history. Even Lenin, from the 1917 Russian Revolution, they praised them in Russia, bro.
Yeah.
And we know those some nigga shit in 1917. They prayed. Let me tell you something, man, about people, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was going on in Germany with the Holocaust situation? You had the same sort of shit going on in Russia, USSR. Stalin was a motherfucker. The same thing. But since they linked up with us to defeat the Germans in the great, I think, no, is it the Ukraine, right? Or was it certain part of Russia where, it was a part of Russia, what was that, I believe, where Chechnya, wherever that area is.
Czechoslovakia, okay.
Now, not Czechoslovakia, it's an area in the USSR that's highly Muslim. It's like,
got you.
I think it's Ukraine.
Maybe Serbia or something? Okay.
And they fought them, bro. You know what I'm saying? And when he fought, bro, we decided, all the countries, now this goes to show you, as much dangerous shit Stalin did, I'm getting to my point. And they looked at him. They said, you know what? Since we done beat Germany and we done beat Hitler, we're going to give y'all all the same land that they took in Eastern Europe. The Eastern Bloc is yours. And all they did was do the same thing that Hitler was doing to the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Right.
In Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Albania. But You speak to them buyers in the USSR, they have no disdain on Stalin's name. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
In the
Hey
public.
Zeke, Zeke, can I promote my school real quick, bro?
Huh?
Can I promote my school?
All day. Do that, bro.
Thank you, bro. So everybody, I started an online school where if you are an adult, what we can do for you is we can help you reinvent your skill sets. Meaning, if you was out here and you just kind of took a job, but that's not really what you want to do, you see yourself kind of doing something else, then you come over to, and I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link down there. But you come over to my school,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna help IT skill sets for a fraction of the price that you would get it at a school, and that you would get it at one of these other like boot camps or whatever like that. You can come to my online school. You're going to meet with an
Yes.
instructor twice a week. All right. So it's self-paced, meaning I put up the videos for you and you could watch the videos 24/7. You could do whatever you want. But it's just not like YouTube where, okay, I could get that on YouTube, Saladin. No, you're going to meet with me twice a week. Okay. And we're going to go over and assess what you've learned so far. Make sure I'm going to give you projects. And
Hell yeah.
then after you finish the course, what I'm going to reinvent your resume. I'm going to redo your LinkedIn and your resume. And then I'm going to use my resources from the recruitment. Again, I've been in the technology field for 12 years. So I've met more than a dozen recruitment firms that I still have contacts with. You understand? So what we're going to do is we're going to do your resume over. We're going to apply the projects that you did to my software development company. I have two companies. One is the non-for-profit. That's the school that helps you guys reinvent yourselves. That helps your children. I also do youth development. Okay, we are 501(c) approved by the IRS. They gave us that 503 status. So
Yeah.
again, I'm trying to put the link down there, but I'll put the link down there before I leave. It's Techie Technology League. And we start our first course in February. All right, guys, this is a fraction of the price. And really nobody, I challenge you to go find a place that's going to do what I could do and to get you working after the course. A lot of people, they'll teach you, but then when it comes to helping you get in the field, they don't have the answers for that. So talk to me,
Yo,
y'all.
you know what's funny you said that, man? I came up from jail. They had this thing called the Fortune Society. And you would
Okay.
go there and it was getting funded. They get funds and people go into these organizations and they teach you job interviews, the boom, 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 and everything else to plug you in. But then I noticed something, right? Even in the Fortune Society, where a lot of the counselors or the job, the job, the people that dealt with these companies,
Right.
they was picking and choosing who they could give good jobs to.
Right.
If you're
Exactly.
not loopy, if you're not part of what we was a part of, then you're not gonna get nowhere. And it's crazy because that they people believe that when you come out of the penitentiary that you can only speak to people that's incarcerated that understand your struggles. So what happens
Right.
is you're keeping the same mindset. You're keeping the same, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look out for you because your name bells in Attica. But they'll say you was an Attica, but you was just your name ain't ring bells. That nigga ain't nobody. They put him on the bottom of the list. That's not how society works, man. And that's what I'm saying. We have to get out of that thinking because that thinking is the reason why you say the young boys is wicked retarded out here. Why are the young boys are wicked retarded when they sit around as kids and all they hear their fathers and uncles glorify jail?
And
Yo, son, and such, and what the hell did? Know what I'm saying?
what one of your
Know what I'm
one of
saying?
your one of your people in the chat just said something, man, and they said, I'm tired of these people talking about free this person and free that person after they done killed somebody in the hood. But then it goes back to that fraternity. You understand what I'm saying? I
Yes.
was locked up, so I don't want to see nobody in there. Well, the best way to do that is to discourage them from doing any type that will put them in there. You understand what I'm saying? But if they go around and they
Yes.
shoot somebody because you don't know the person, because you don't know the person personally that they shot, you say free the bro. That's what you say. Free the bro. But so what he handle? Really telling you, really saying, yo, it's okay, man. Like we the real niggas. We celebrate all that shit. Now you a real one. He shot, yo, that was somebody's son, that was somebody's father. And a lot of these shootings are just reckless. You understand? Either miscommunication because we don't know how to talk to a person. A person offended me, I'm going to shoot them. Some of these shootings weren't even the right person. Okay. Rest in peace to the woman who went out to the store and got shot in the stomach, and her dog got shot because the dude got
Yeah,
out the
yeah, that's
car and
correct.
was trying to
Yes,
hit the
yes.
person behind her. So you're telling me free this guy? You can't pick and choose when to free somebody, man. Yo, free free this nigga, free this nigga. No, man. This is perpetuating a level of thinking
Hell yeah. Now, you
that
know
is
what? You know what I'm
not
saying?
good for our community.
And you know what's funny? Somebody said something that made sense. Right? In my past, I've interviewed guys that's the same conversation we having. I've had interviewed with guys that I spoke on these type of topics where you know what happened? It was after Christmas, right? And I sat here and said, where are you really trying to go with this thing you do on YouTube? Are you just trying to be the guy that gang members and just talk about no growth? Or are we gonna speak about take your chances to be original? You know what I'm saying? Take a chance to have only 10 people in your chat and build that and talk about something that has some substance. So I had to fall back. You know what I'm saying? Then my job, because I got promoted, had me on first quarter, right? So on my job on first quarter, you had to clean up everything. The Christmas holidays is over, you're cleaning up and you're organizing, and this is how this should look. And that's how business is. You have to clean up first quarter, second quarter, you prepare for another part of the business. Third quarter is sales, and fourth quarter is at the end of the year profits. So now I have to look at this shit as a business. Do I want to have the same? Do I still want to continue to speak to the same 200 people on YouTube all day, or do I want to go to Clubhouse, Facebook, IG, and bring them all in? Because you'd be surprised, the right person here, you give you a chance, give you 20. Yo, son, I like what son talking about. Come, yo,
Right.
we're gonna interview you over here, and I realized
Right.
that you destroy that through beefing, arguing, debating. Close your door before it really opens. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have to treat life like it's a business. Something you said, and I remember us being young, man, and me and my friends used to because in my neighborhood when dudes would talk, like you said, it was a small crowd. In that crowd, they used to talk about that jail shit all day. We used to get it was crazy. Like, son, why them niggas always talk about jail, bro? We didn't look at, but you have some young boys that live in the households where this goes on at. Remember, our generation was the drug dealer, the dope queen, and the black Muslim, and the then you got to remember in the 90s, the stepfathers became the gang member, the Latin King, Trinidadio, the Blood, the Bone. So now these kids are living in households where their mothers got 2, 3 kids, 4 different baby fathers, four kids, all of them is gang related. The house is to hang out. So these kids are learning behavior they're getting. They're learning in the house. They're learning all this shit in the house. See, we learned a lot of our stupid shit outside. But now these kids are learning this shit indoors.
Yes, it's
They're
very
learning this shit in the house, bro. Huh?
they're learning it firsthand. So this is a different type of conditioning that they're going through. That's why I say it's important for us to have that empathetic mindset. Day one said, is that day one? Let me see. He said, why do we embrace the negative? The whole hood got PTSD. We need to be evaluated ASAP, people. And this is true. But guess what? The people with the certified credentials to evaluate us day one, they're never going to do it because they know that we have PTSD.
Hell yeah, yo, son,
PTSD, people, post syndrome. We have it. We have it from over 500 years of slavery. The slavery never ended. In 1865, with the Emancipation Proclamation, it was supposed to end, but it immediately went into something else. It didn't even take time
shoestring.
because if we just do the knowledge, where the hell was some slaves that own nothing going? You don't even own nothing. You have no house, you have no property, you have
Salary,
no
salary,
nothing.
salary. I like what you just said. How can you give me free papers saying I'm a free slave if I don't know how to read? If I don't know how to approach a white man, because every white man that I was forced to be around, I had to put my head down, I had to fetch something, and when I spoke, they smacked me, kicked me in my head. So I'm gonna go to a white man and go, hey, I'm free. Because some guys from the north that's nowhere around right now said that we are free now. They passed me the paper as they was walking across. See, manipulation is the best thing in the world. Slavery didn't end until at least 1910. You know what I'm saying? The back roads of Mississippi, Alabama.
That's a fact,
there's no
man.
way that there's no
And then
way that without no internet, no TV, that you think Northerners was going to the deep south, going to some of these plantations, going here. You know what I'm saying? You are free now. You got the paper.
right.
So there's no way it was that. There was no way that it was. There was no way that it was communicated to where the slaves were free on Monday, and all the slaves knew in the South by Saturday what was going on. Get out of here, man. Information, man.
I would love to take you on a short
I don't hate you,
timeline
Saladin.
journey.
I don't.
Okay.
Okay, I hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm on a delay. Let me go out and come back in. I'm on a delay.
All right. Yo, this is deep, man. This is history, because we allow people to write books and they narrate the stories in their books, and then we just go with it because we don't do our research. Now I was okay. We just read the book. We'll argue down that this is a fact because a white man wrote it, allegedly, right? What the white man lied to us for? Not saying about the white and black stuff. It's not about white and black, but this is the world that we live in. The man that oppressed us, the president, right? The man who enslaved us. Now he makes a book that goes. He's breaking down who fought the wars, who died in the war. Yes, the white man fought to free the black man. It was white man trying to free the black man. So that's like part of their whole little, their right?
Okay, can you hear me now, Zeke?
Yeah, I got you right here. Because I always want to, Because I always want to ask that question. I want to ask you that.
So I want to take everybody.
What year do you think slavery really ended, where all the Africans in the South knew we are free? What year would you say that was?
Well, let me take you. Okay, first let me take you on the timeline, and then I'll answer that question. Please. Okay, the timeline is 1865 Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah. Okay, now as y'all guys fill in the blanks as I'm talking, because obviously me and Zeke said these people had no property and no money and no, so whatever they did after that with that information, okay, we free. Where we going? So as we know, it's illegal. So what the slave masters had to do was they created basically agreements with these slaves and with these people who are no longer slaves, okay, with these people, and they say, okay, you could work on our land, that's not a problem, and I will pay you. But what happened was no different than what happens today. They taxed the shit out of all these people to the point where when it was time for payday, the master said, well, you actually in the negative, Jethro. Yeah. I mean, you're my guy, I love you, but you used up the toilet, okay? I gotta charge you. I don't want to charge you for that, for the toilet, Jeff. Yes. You used up the water. You ate food. You did this. Your kids was playing over there in the cornfield. That's my property, Jeff, bro. I don't want to charge your kids for playing, but come on, you know what I'm saying? I got to do what I got to do. So the point is, they charged them so heavily for everyday things that that these people ended up back in debt. Now, here's 1885, private prison. Okay, now, if you owed this white man, and I'm not just saying no, but if you did happen to owe this white man and you did not pay and you did not want to work, guess where your ass was going? You was go into the private prison system that 1985, this exploded. This exploded. You understand what I'm saying? Because why? We could get free work out of these people on a mass scale. On a mass scale, they're making furniture. They're making everything. Only reason that started to die down was the Great Depression. When the Great Depression came into play, you had
Yeah.
a bunch of small businesses, and the small businesses in each state said, listen, they went to their representatives, their political representatives, and they said, listen, this private prison shit y'all got going on is ruining because I make chairs, okay? And I can't compete
Yeah.
with you if you done rounded up all the black people again and put them in jail, and you have them mass producing things. It's fucking up the economy. You understand what I'm saying? And now with the Great Depression that's going on, I can't live. So the politicians had to bow down to that. So they slowed the momentum of private prisons and the arrest on African Americans. African Americans were then able to come up a little bit because we are ingenuity. We have the ingenuity. We have great minds. You understand? So this is where you see the black flourishing when everything else is really falling apart. And it's like, how the fuck is these dudes doing that? So, of course, nonetheless, they attacked many Black Wall Streets. We always hear about the Oklahoma Black Wall Street, but we had many Black Wall Streets that
Many, many.
they sabotage. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
as the momentum of the what was I talking about? The momentum, what was that thought? Private prison. As that slowed down,
Yeah.
had Jim Crow. You still had the Black Law codes and all of this stuff, but then 1960s hit, and that is when um it hit everybody in America. It was highlighted that listen, people still there's certain people that still can't vote. It's certain black and human beings that African American human beings that still can't vote in this here America, what you call this country of America. So of course that caught flames. You understand what I'm saying? And there's always a group of people that seem like they want to get down with us to help us. Cool. We have rights, the civil rights era. Then in 1972, the government started paying attention again to private prison. That's when they started getting back into it. They have the federal money now, and the first place that they tried out this private prison was in Pennsylvania with the group homes here, the youth development. You understand what I'm saying? They always want to attack the youth first. You
Yeah.
older people, your ratio, you're closer to death than you are to life. You understand? So I could get more out of a
Boom.
young person
Can I ask you a question?
than I could
You
get
just
out
said
of an
something
old
that's deep.
person.
They always want to attack you first, right? And then here's the deep. And what do? We attack the youth in the media. Facebook, IG, even use all the young boys is young and dumb. Or the young boys is boom, boom, boom. So we're tearing them down emotionally with our game plan. So that is a separation between old and young. That was great what you just said right there, because I never looked at it like that. You make a separation, you attack the youth.
Yes, I read their. I read. See, I read their um covert operations. A lot of these CIA books you could buy online. A lot of their thinking you could buy online. But just pay attention to the people that use weapons against you, and you can understand their agenda more clearly. Understand what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of times when I talk about their um the way they're mesmerized by the African culture, the ancient African culture, but then they create secret societies where they're only going to teach you and these behind these walls. You understand what I'm saying? These people in high places and they pay attention. Why? Why are they so infatuated with the Egyptians? Why? Because the knowledge that the ancients had, if you use it right, it seems like magic. You understand what I'm saying? If you use it right, it seems like magic. But the black man is too busy to worry about that shit. He don't got no time for that shit. He got to pay bills. He got to go to work and all that. America has set white America in a place where they have more time to indulge in extracurricular activity curriculum, and therefore they could read up on our history. They know our history, people. I speak to them. They know our history. They can tell you your history better than you. They know what's going down. Understand?
Yes.
So therefore they could study this ancient Kemetic science and never say anything. They don't got to wear no 125th Street African and all of that. Nah, they're not doing all of that. But for you to think they don't understand, and I'm not just talking about white Americans, I'm talking about the European period. Period. This they didn't just
Yes.
start studying our culture. They've been studying, and then they don't tell you, and they say, "Oh, so if I do this, it affects a person," and then they spend billions of dollars on just practicing and seeing how something affects a people, and then they use it and weaponize it on other people.
Yo, you know what's funny? You said that about history, right? It has something called Serbia and Bosnia. So, we don't know what's going on. Some of us know what's going on in Eastern Europe because unless you have an Eastern European friend. I had a friend, one of my man Eli. He was from, I think, Yugoslavia, but he was white, but he was Muslim. He just was a white Muslim guy because there's a lot. He didn't want to really educate me on the Muslims that was out there. Like, where I come from, there's a lot of Muslims, but they was white because at one point in time in history, the Muslims from the Middle East, the Mediterranean, traveled to the eastern blocks of Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like Spain. I heard, I haven't been there, some of the oldest mosques out of Asia. You know what I'm saying? So when that thing happened in Serbia with the Serbians and the Muslims, when it was that they try to get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? I forgot the word they used, but they trying to get rid of it. They was tearing apart the Bosnians. They said the reason why they did that to them was because something happened with the Germans. I guess the Muslims didn't interfere when the Germans came through when they was attacking certain people in certain regions, and that's why they flipped on the Muslims, like to get rid of that whole race out of that portion of Europe. And that goes to show you how deep hate is. Then we had to go back into, I'll be honest with you, because I'm not so smart. When I was in school, I read a book about the Holy Wars. The Holy Wars is really fought in Europe. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? So there's years, like I say, B and C wars, you talking about blood and Christ. There's years of religious animosity. Catholics fighting Christians, Christians fighting Muslims, Muslims fighting boom. So a lot of these issues that we see on a worldly basis are from religious wars, tribe wars. And
Tribal
from a guy like
yes.
Zeke, I was like a conspiracy therapist, right? I mean, conspiracy theory, right?
Conspiracy theories.
I would never knew that she had Muslims in the other ones, the ones that Saddam Hussein was.
Right.
Those fractions got beef with each other.
They got beef with each other.
The Shiites and I've got the other brand of Muslims.
Right, but I commend you. You're taking the time to actually learn something outside of the cookie cut profile that our culture wants to put you in. Zeke, they don't want you educated more than the shit you talking about, Zeke. They want you to just talk about prison all day and OGs that came home. There's no way in the world you should know. There's nowhere in the world you should know about Shiite Muslims in Bosnia and all of this stuff. Now they're gonna be like, yeah, but that soon you keep on talking that and educating people, they're gonna say, yeah, but he not a real one. That's when they start attacking your profile up north. Yeah, but Zeke never put in no work anyway. You know what I'm saying?
That's real talk. Oh, he ain't put no work in. But you know what though? The work I put in real life was when I was young, and I was mad because my mother was still partying. I was always picking up a encyclopedia in class, and I would read. That's why I have some knowledge of some of these countries because I would always read, bro. And I would read these books, and now I have the knowledge. And to be fortunate to be from East Harlem, there was a lot of coaches. You had the Italians. Then I had a chance to go with a lot of Germans, because where I actually live at in East Harlem, where the last day I live in 2 blocks of Yorkville. Yorkville is a highly German community. Rich Germans. Those are the Germans alleged to be that help before Hitler got into power. They was behind the Nazis. They were supporting that movement. Those are the ones that was putting their money up, their riches up, to do the Madison Square Garden rallies and all that. That's an influential part of New York City. The area I'm talking about is where Gracie Mansion is at. That's York.
Gracie Mansion, yeah, right.
First Ave, East End. So we grew up with the Germans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And a lot of Irish. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we was socially because the schools we went to. See what you said earlier, because the schools we went to. Because I lived on 98th Street, 99th Street, my friends, we went to PS 198. We went to Wagner Junior High School.
But also, Zeke, people don't know the history of the Irishman and some of these lower level Germans in the United States. Now, when we go back to Central Park, when Central Park created, we were together. Negroes and the Irishmen were together. But what had to happen was there had to be a distinct separation because we had that affinity going on. We're both poor. You understand? We both trying to feed our family. So the Negro and the black man were together around Central Park. But then what had to happen was more ways of manipulating the people. They got the Irishman to separate from us by offering him more positions in the department. Now, once you're able to feed your family and everything, and you got a better lifestyle, then the next generation is going to forget or not even care that our grandparents used to be best friends. Okay. Now the grandkids, they on the police department, and guess what? The black man is on the other side of that story. So he don't care that our grandfathers was best friends. Yeah, that's that old time shit. Right now, I'm a police officer. You a nigga out here on the street, and I'm about to billy clip your ass over the head and bring you in.
Hold on. So, now, Shower 20, hold on. Shower 20 want to blood. We're not talking about these YouTube blood niggas. We're not doing that.
No, me and Shy went.
I want to have a conversation about life. We talk about knowledge, born understanding. He's Shy 120. We're going to talk about the air like the Shy 120, the God. We ain't talking about, but I don't want to. I want to learn something. I want to learn something that doesn't deal with barbed wire fences, being in controlled environments. With that being said, we are right in the garden. The God is in the building. Shy 120. What's the science, God? That's what I want to talk about. What the fuck is the science this morning?
Yeah, top of the morning, my brothers. Top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
Yes.
Top of the morning, y'all.
Y'all see I was up here building, adding on to that, I just got off the phone with one of my bros, right? A wild ball and shit. Like we were just talking about, because he just had a seed too. I was telling him how I'm not gonna put my child through the system, the school system. Like I feel like the education of our child should start at home. Like this pandemic has showed me a lot of things, and all of these other things have showed me a lot of things that I have to look at. What do I want my child around? What kind of environment do I need my child around? How do I want my child to develop? All them things start with me. All of them, nothing goes past me first. The ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the do, me, re's, that should be taught by me. Not saying that when it comes time, he shouldn't take a GED test. I didn't say that. Or whatever kind of equivalency he can get into to get his paperwork, as far as pertaining to them. But I feel like putting our children through the school system and all that, it's not a good thing. The reason I say that, Smitty Rock, salute. The reason why I say that is because I feel it's like an indoctrination for our children, man. It is. It's a basic knowledge that we've been taught, all of us as teachers. Yeah. We have the powers to teach he or her. That's what the teacher is. And that's what I've been working on like right now. Y'all already know far as the Fayetteville movement I got going on with me and my brother Tony Brown building this Black Wall Street. My movement is not stopped. The other reason I came up here, Saladin, I wanted to salute you, my brother, wholeheartedly, man. I appreciate you, man. And I mean that. We ain't gonna go too far into that because that, like he said, that's not for this, man. But I just wanted to let you know I truly appreciate that apology, man, because it was heartfelt. I know that it was sincere, And I wanted to salute you on that.
Thank you, bro.
But my thing is this. What y'all building about right now, that's what every platform should be. That's what me and Smitty Rock talk about every night. That's one of my big little bros right there. A lot of people didn't even know that. That's like we raised each other, kind of. You know, that's what.
No shot. I like what you just said, because one thing, I said, been with the older guards when I was a kid, right? And one thing the older guards used to always tell me, like, because we deal with, a lot of us are deaf, dumb, and blind to reality, right? So the reality is, he said, you'll punch me in the face before you punch the oppressor in the face. That's a learned behavior, see? He goes, you'll go back to the oppressor, the man that you complain about that economically. And
I'm not preaching hate.
Fuck you up.
And I'm not preaching hate, Z. I'm not preaching hate.
No, I'm not talking about that. No.
I know that. I know what you're saying. I'm saying
but that's what my people. So for some reason, we take everything. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hello?
First of all, I would like to say,
good morning.
What you doing right down there with the and you're not
Sheriff.
far. I know where you at. You at Stouffville, you at Oxford, you at Henderson. So you right around the corner from my house, bro. And what you're doing
I might
with the property down there, and what you the legacy you trying to leave.
I might go a little later.
Bro, this is the conversation that we need to be having. This is the conversation that we need to be having, bro. So, you know, if everyone does their part, I got the school to teach technology. You got the blueprint to start buying land and start putting seed on land and growing our own food. If everybody does their part, then we will wake up and we will have something going on, man.
Let me show you something that I just learned, Holiday. One of the youngins came on my acres and showed me a way to get water out of the land. I never even knew that.
Wow.
The object, and he's 27. He got my wife by 2 years. You understand me? Oh, yeah, I will be married August 3rd, her birthday. For all y'all that would like to attend, word to everything I love. Y'all are invited, man. For real. So y'all can see why I'm so happy, man. Honestly.
Right.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
man.
I'm glad somebody chose. I'm glad somebody chose me.
You wanna know what's so funny? I seen something yesterday morning, right? And this Saladin, I appreciate you for pulling up. Everybody for pulling up. I woke up and see G Cafe post, rest in peace to this Puerto Latino cop. And when I see that, it hit me, because it was like, in our culture, we're not supposed to rest in peace to the police. Remember, G Cafe come from the street. He dedicated 20 years of his life to street culture. And when he did that, you know what flew through my head? Look at that Latino love right there, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
Latino love came out of him because he was a good Latino brother who just had, in a situation.
Yo, can y'all brothers hear me?
We can hear you now, Smitty. We wasn't able to hear you before.
Once he did that, 20, so I could cut you off, at least 20 influenced Latinos started posting a picture of that cop. Even street niggas that I don't rest in peace to the cop guy. That Latino love came together, and that ain't enough is enough. This is crazy as it sounds. Street niggas post rest in peace to the cop, bro. And I was like, yo, man, that Latino love is coming out. That Puerto Rican came out, bro. You hear me? And that's what we mix it up at. We have to stop segregating ourselves like we're in these weird tribes. You know what I'm saying? It's like this weird tribal shit that's going on. Like we have to come to a point where, you know what I'm saying? You're shy, man.
Yeah, shy wilding out. You got to put the video off when you do that.
My fault. This is legal.
Got you.
I'm gonna love some shy, man. Some shy. Nigga shy is fucking. Yo, but you know what's so funny though? You know what's so funny? Now, when I was young, right, I used to think that Rastafarians from Jamaica, because I see deaf, dumb, and blind, never knowing. So I didn't know that the Rastafarians is actually a culture from Africa.
Yes, this is a culture. Yeah, from map. Yeah, exactly.
And they deal with so much. Look how much power those West Indians have with what they do with their money in certain places. Even the West Indians are deeply in hip hop, rock and roll, pop, education, doctors, lawyers. I think because they have a sense of culture. Even the Irish, even was it North and South Ireland, they go to war with each other. But even the Irish have a sense of some type of culture and history. What happened with us, bro? I think is they stripped us on the African side of our history. So that's when I said, listen to Deaf, Dumb, and Blind, because we don't really have, we don't have, I know more about my West Indian history than my father's history.
Yes.
I can tell you Cat Allen, the Ferguson family, the Ropers. I can break shit down. But you asked me about where my father's from. We was just, because remember, they wasn't allowed to read a book. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Until what, 1989? You know what
I'm gonna show you something, because I was listening to all your conversation about the legacy leader. I want y'all to look up something real quick, right?
See, like this education. This is education, bro.
You can look up Burchette. That's my last name. You can look up Burchette Road and Burchette Cemetery in Macon, in North Carolina. You can look up in Warrenton, North Carolina. You can look in Henderson, North Carolina. Like, my people was fortunate enough to leave me a little something, you heard? You know what I mean? I always fended for myself anyway, from day one. For 16 years, I stayed on parole. You know what I mean? So I knew I had to fend for myself. The building process was already in place. By the time that I got off parole, it was an agreement already that my mother and pops had left, that if I should make it off parole, that they had something waiting for me. A house and 27 acres. So that shit was like a blessing, bro. I came down here, I didn't know what to do. Remember, I've been locked up all that time. Even on the 16 years of parole in New York, I had a 6 o'clock curfew. I couldn't leave the state of New York without asking permission. Meaning, if I went to Brooklyn, if I went to any place besides Queens, I had to ask for permission. So it was kind of excruciating dealing with that shit for 16 years. You know what I mean? I always smoked this, never had a dirty urine. The water game was superb. You understand me? So when individuals put themselves back into that position because they want to be in that position. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to bring it back to a whole now. The reason why I say that, my family put me in a position that I'm in right now. I never needed for nothing. Y'all look up Gino's Pizza Restaurant in Far Rockaway. Gino's Pizzeria. That's my family shit. It's been there for 70 years. 73 years. It's a landmark, right? My people bought a piece of that property out there when it was cheap, and they never looked back. Tranquilo, todos mamanitos. For real, like, y'all know what's up with me, man. That's the Dominican side of me. The Haitian part is different. Quite different, man. Like, it took me a long time to get off the parole, to get out here, to know that I had something that was out here. Somebody showed me how to take the land and flip the land. I didn't know nothing about that either. My older brother's down here right now. I wish he was right here so y'all could meet him. Great brother named Dog Kim. Y'all probably know him. 62 years old. One of the old guards. A Jolly Stomper back in the day. Original shit. I lived on East 46 Linden Boulevard. Same block with Full Force, UTFO, a couple of other infamous names. I ain't gonna even name them. You heard? Let's talk about the positivity that came out the block. That's what we talking about. Positivity, right?
Exactly.
So my thing is this: if I can do it, then anybody can do it.
Hey, man.
That's all I was trying to press to everybody. If I can do it, then anybody can do it. I did it the first year I got off parole. I left the second month. As soon as they told me that I was off, I couldn't wait. I sold every little thing that I had that didn't mean nothing. I left it in Far Rock.
1 second,
And I,
shot. He didn't say that his peoples owned Gino. He said if you was listening, his people owned the land that Geno's
Land.
was on.
You know what I'm
So
saying? Land,
it's
bro.
very important to listen before we start,
yeah, all them
just
properties,
slandering
y'all
people. You
gotta
understand what
remember,
I'm saying? That's the
all them
part right
properties,
there.
all them properties, all you gotta do is go out there. That's all. All you gotta do, whoever that is, tell them to go out there. I get them anything they want. All they gotta do is just bring me up on the screen and say, "Do you know him?" They gonna say, "Yeah, that's my nephew. There, that's my father's brother, man. That's my only living relative that I have. I have no more uncles and aunts except him." Nah, man.
Got you. I want to touch on this part back to the crisis identity that we be having, right? So I struggled with that for a long time, Zeke. When you talk about crisis
Yeah.
identity, and I noticed that was a major weak point as regarding. Now I'm going to call it African American, but I was on a phone call the other night, right? And somebody stopped me. Somebody from the gods in the earth stopped me and said, "Hey, bro, what's that about? Why you call yourself African American?" Now I wasn't offended. He thought I was going peace, Latin pain. He thought I was going to be offended, and I said, "No, I'll tell you what's going on. I happen to actually do the DNA test. So I can see clearly on my DNA test that a great majority of my DNA evolved from Africa. They tell me where: Nigeria, Togo, the Congo. I can see where. So being that we all know the story of how
Hold on.
people were
You here?
stolen or sold to certain people, to people that look like us. Okay, they were sold to people that look like us, and they sold us to other people. Then we were brought over here in America. 500 years later, 600 years later, I'm here. I call myself an African American for this region, but that don't make me correct, right? Because you have other people. That chat will fill up so fast with oppositional rhetoric, Zeke, that this causes a faction. So not only does identity crisis cause a faction and disenfranchisement, then we didn't even hit religion yet. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't even touch on that yet. So then these two topics alone, plus jail. If you've been to jail, you're a real nigga. If you haven't been to jail, you a fake nigga. God
That's
damn,
I
how
don't
cool.
know
many
where that came
that's
up.
just
Just listen,
three
one
That's
thing.
that
Can I
cool.
touch that?
that will
Can I touch that?
destroy our
That
unity.
ideology there, that ideology there is disgusting, man. Let me break down the gangsters to me, y'all. So y'all can know what a gangster is. A gangster's a motherfucker that get up every morning, man, and go get that bread and bring it home to his family, man. That nigga's a gangster, man. The gangster, the nigga that take care of his kids, man. He don't just make them, but he take them and he claim them. That's the gangsters, man. The gangsters, the motherfuckers that stand by their word, man.
You know what
That
I'm saying?
never relinquish from their word. Their word is their bond, and their bond is their life.
Boom, boom,
Those are the gangsters, man.
boom, boom.
Any other ideology beside that is the motherfucker's ideology of a gangster.
Now we got Latin in the building.
Yo,
Our
real quick,
Latino
man, real
brother.
quick. Yo, Zeke, you know I love you, Black. Real quick, I don't really want to be here like that. You heard? I just love you. You hear me? But I just want to say, I got 4 little things to say. I'm out. If it takes more than a minute, I lie to you. First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Shy, I'm a fan, son. I think you really, really rare. I believe in you, B. You know what I'm saying? Keep it calm, Black man, you heard? And keep your eyes open. Not every brother
You
a
know
real
I
brother.
am.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know that.
Yo, Saladin, son. Yo, Saladin, son. You too, son. I like your style, son. You heard? You know what I'm saying? But keep your eyes open and watch what they telling you, son. When somebody tell you something, yo, it could be projection. There's a lot of people lying, hating, they mad, they hurt, they broken children, they don't know how to heal. God bless them, but don't stress them. Let them say whatever they want, you heard? Hey, yo, Zeke Black, I really love you, man. You my bro for real, you
Hey,
heard?
good to see you, man.
Don't ever believe no bullshit narrative. Always holler at me, you heard? You want the true
Feeling
story.
you, bro.
You know
That's
what I'm
my
saying?
man.
Feeling
And,
you.
and,
Listen.
I
and this
thank
all
you
I'm
for
gonna
that
say.
blessing. I
Hold
thank you
on,
for
because
that
I'm out of
blessing,
here. You
bro.
heard?
Yeah.
Yo, and to everybody else, you know what I'm saying? They try to take me out the game. Smear campaign the name, but ain't nothing changed. I'm still the same. I'm Latin pain. God bless
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
motherfuckers. I love you, B.
You
No,
already know.
I like
Shout out to Latin.
he King Tone. That was dope because like I said, like We are. Like I said, like remember before I fell back a while, I began to realize we are the voice to the streets other than our so-called older rappers from my generation. And I'm like, you know what, man, we have so much knowledge because a lot of us we read books. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those like Shy 120. They say, even though you've been to jail, we all been in jail. But if I put Shy 120 in a room with a bunch of educated Caucasians, he can carry the same conversation, different words, conduct himself.
I'm gonna show you why, Zeke. I'm gonna show y'all why. Listen, here goes the thing. Here goes the thing. When y'all get a chance, you know, the reality is there's only one person that can really get up here and tell my life story, man. We was in sing together, the streets together, everywhere, right? Beside myself, right?
Yeah.
That has a lot of parts to it. If y'all ever ask him, he gonna tell y'all, man, because I know he'll be genuine in that. I was a workhorse, man, inside there. From when we left sing together, me, him, and Soul B, to all. I don't want to talk about that. One thing y'all never heard me do, I don't get up here and talk about jail. Never. That's a part of my past, man. I'm trying to show them what the present me look like. Whole different dude, whole different swag, whole different walk. I became a man. When I was in there, I became a man quick, fast. It didn't take long. I was around a bunch of wolves, coyotes, bears, lions, and tigers and bears. Oh my. I was around all that. I don't talk about that, man. That shit defined me to make me come home and do better than what I ever did. That's all it did. It defined me. A lot of dudes went up north, lifted weights. So be it, tell you. I was in Bronx Community College. I went and got my associate's degree in business. I lifted my mind up. The most important part, the part that some of us forget sometimes, the mental, the shit that control the physical. You know? It's the same thing with everything in life. Like I always tell people, you have to push for what you want, because if you don't push for what you want, you'll never get it, man. You'll never get it. It's nothing wrong with having a dream. The dream is great, but the fulfillment of the dream makes it greater. That's what makes the dream great. When you capture it. I was doing chemo so much, real quick, Saladin. Because I don't want to get emotional. You see, I'm calming it down. I'm learning how to speak a little bit better. I was doing so much chemo, they said I would never have a seed.
Wow.
That's how much chemo I was doing. I was doing it twice a month. Then it got to 3 times a month because it got more serious. Because I was fucking up, smoking mad cigarettes. I was doing all the wrong shit.
Right.
I was still on parole at the time too, so that was extra stress. Having a bunch of niggas running up in my crib, checking everything every other time they want to, you know. So that kind of put more stress on me. But they were telling me I never have a seed. Right? I met somebody when they was 23, y'all. No, just for the record, I'm not afraid, man. I met her mother and father. Was at a banquet that they had. They're Africans, real Africans with the full garb, all that. Live by the African code. She's African. Remember, I'm Dominican and Haitian. My father was Dominican. My mother was full-bred Haitian. So I guess my child is kind of fucked up right now. And I'm only playing, right? But check it out. No, that's too many things. But it was never my intention to fall in love with her. I did that because I loved the way her mother treated me. I loved the words her father told me, that if you ever do something to hurt my daughter, expect the same thing. And I respected that shit because he got a bunch of brothers and sons that he's able to do that with. So I felt that. And I never looked back. I treated her with like royalty.
Can I say something on that, Sean?
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations on finding your wife at 23. All right. Congratulations,
yeah, she's 25
brother.
now. She's 25
I know.
now.
I'm just clearing up the story for you, bro. I'm just clearing up the story for you.
If y'all need the ID, y'all can see it too, because that's how I feel.
Because some people have a hard time with math. You understand what I'm saying? But that's what it became. But bigger than all of that, Sean.
You know?
Right. That's what it became. And Wow.
Yeah, now,
That's
see,
amazing
that's all I was saying from the beginning.
amazing that you said that. Yeah. So this
Because
is what I
it
want to
all
say
goes
on
back
that,
to the
man.
same circle again, though, Saladin. It goes back to the same circle what we just talking about. The UNITY. That's never supposed to get broken, man, by any of us, man. The first time I was on the stage with y'all, man, y'all applauded me and loved me. And I loved y'all for that, Saladin. And I love you right now, even more. Even more.
Love you back,
Because
bro.
you show
You
me,
know,
because you show me as a man saith, he doeth.
you know
Huh?
what, you know what, you know what, you know what, and I'm gonna be honest with you. In my
Talk
heart,
to
right?
me.
Me and Saladin said something a half an hour ago. Because certain things happen because of a certain fraternity. That a certain
Fraternity.
agenda.
There you.
So what
Yeah,
happens
right.
is, once you remove yourself from that fraternity, it's a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? The fraternity,
Yeah, I'm removed.
the
I'm
fraternity
removed.
co-signs those agendas. This is it's just so what happens is by us staying within that fraternity, we're staying within that world. So then what comes out of that is we think it matters. You see the individual Shadow 20, you're not stressed, right? You're not talking about no gang shit. You're not talking about the homies over here because you're
I
not.
don't never do that.
Yeah,
Never.
but
Listen
an example.
to every
Nobody's
song that I put up,
you
every
know what?
video. No,
Because nobody
man.
asks you about no gang shit because they seeing Shadow 20 speak. The man with some knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Some guy who's gonna tell me some shit other than Shadow. Because what happens is the questions happen with the agendas.
Yo, Z, can I show you something? I'm gonna show you how intelligent y'all brothers. When I go through shit, this is what I do. We're miseducated, never knowing the truth, listening to lies, never seeking the proof, hearing raindrops as they drop on my roof. It became a second nature, like the way that we shoot. We quick to hate each other. It ain't only the youth. Slander real niggas. That's what some niggas do. And once they teach our babies, they be faking it too. How could you care about the babies when you ain't speaking shit? How could you never have a treat when you wanted a trish? Like, I ain't gonna get too deep in that. Like, y'all already know. Y'all already know, man. Like, mad shout outs to my bro China, for real. Mad shout outs to Harlem, man. Honestly, like, I got the messages last night. I want
to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. For narrative, right? When Malcolm X and the rest of them said they never seen a white Muslim before he went to Mecca. Not disrespecting Malcolm X. I believe that there was white Muslims in the Bronx, like Morris Park area, and by Bronx Zoo. Because when I go in those areas, I see the Muslims over there, the Albanians and the Yugoslavians. So was that just something that was being said, or dudes wasn't traveling New York City like that in the 50s and 60s? Because there's a large Muslim population that's been in New York City for decades. You know what I'm saying? The Morris Park section, to say what, Morris Park. And I think the Bronx Zoo, there's a lot of Eastern Europeans. You know what I'm saying? But there's Muslims. There's Muslims. So do you believe that when he said that he never seen a Caucasian Muslim, do you think that was a fact?
I'm gonna tell you something, honestly, man. I wouldn't even want to quote on that. See, that's another thing. I try not to go places that I'm not sure of. That
Yes, I
mad
said.
shout out to
So we get mind going. That's what I like. We get mind going. So now we can do some research on that to see.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm gonna do some research and you got my word. I'm gonna do the research on that. You got my word.
Yes.
Come back next time you pull up. I'm gonna have something to talk about.
You know what? That's what it's God body, but that's what attracted me to the gods. You know what? Somebody throw some shit out there that'll make you go to the library and pick a book up.
Let me ask you something, Zeke.
Do
you believe you have a soul?
Oh, I have a soul, because you know what? I don't want to die. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? You hear me?
Okay, so if you believe you have a soul, I believe I have a soul. Hey, Shaw 120, you believe you have a soul?
You already know the question to that.
I do already know the answer.
You already know the question.
Here's my point in bringing that up. Because Shaw 120 said something a second ago, and it went over everybody's head. It didn't go over mine because I subscribe to this ideology, you see? So he said he built his mind because his mind controls his physical, okay?
Absolutely.
But that was only one part. He left out a whole other part. Your mind is the connection to your soul, people. So you have to recognize, if I ask you, do you have a soul? You say yes, then automatically that makes you a duality. You understand? That means you are spirit and you are physical. And our people do not embrace the spiritual side at all. It's all hocus pocus, it's all gibberish, is all spooky business, right? They only want to deal from the point of a physicality, but you can't only deal from a physicality. There are metaphysics in this world that you cannot see with the blind eye. You understand what I'm saying? So again, we are not taught to embrace, especially in the subcultures of African American, which means we got not blood, forgive me, y'all. We have gang culture. All right, we have street culture, we have hip hop. None of these places do they embrace the spiritual aspect of a thing. It's always from the physical aspect. But I encourage everybody that's under the voice of the hearing of my voice right now to look at it a little bit different, because what he said made so much sense and it's actual facts. Your spirit is the connection to your brain. This physical that we got is only a shell. It's only a coat that your spirit wears. That's all it is.
That's
You
a
understand?
vehicle. It's a vehicle.
It's just a
vehicle.
vehicle for
That's all
us
it is,
being
man.
down here on earth. So therefore, there's a few things you got to do. What's driving the vehicle? Your spirit. Okay, so you got to keep that balance. Then if you keep your spirit balanced, then you got to educate your knowledge, your mind, the physical aspect of it. And then those two things together, then you'll start working on your physical body. And this is the challenge that we should be working on down here on earth, man. We should be working to keep those things balanced.
Let me tell you something. Look. I still do all of the above. Look. I still do all of the above, right? Every day. Every day, still on my shit, right? Check it though. Here go the funny shit. Like, I'm 55. I've been fighting cancer 13 years. If that don't tell you about the soul and the physical, I don't know what to tell you, man. One got to be taking over the other to make sure it's all right. That's how you know. That's how you know that they really coexist with each other.
Right. Basic mathematics.
I'm living
He
proof.
said, what's
Again,
heavier than a raindrop but lighter than air? A snowflake. And guess what? All three are the same. Love you for that, beloved.
Still weigh the same. Still weigh the same. You know, I had to break that down to do it one day. I said, yo, what's heavier? A pound of bricks or a pound of straw? He said a pound of bricks. I said, nah, they both a pound, man.
They both a pound, beloved.
You just got to take your time and listen. It's about, that's what's missing it. Honestly, you know, I hear all of the brothers say the same thing at some point in all of their podcasts. Every podcast I've been on, they talk about the unification and getting the kids right. It got to start with you first.
It got to start with you. And this is why I said, shout out to you for starting the land and educating us on how to do things with the land and everything. Shout out to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's simple. It's simple. Even a gorilla can do it.
Shout out to you, Smitty Brim. Shout out to you.
And you know, I like these type of bills because I was young and I was running around with my friends. We had older guards like Poodle and them. They was guard box. They would build with us like a guy named Bodyguard, and he would build and have these conversations with us, and he would talk to us about things like, he wants to have these conversations of hold on, we're not doing that. Not today. He would build with us about reality in life. And he's like, yo, y'all gonna die in these streets not reading the book. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not paying attention to what's around y'all. Y'all have a chance to grow. And I think mentally we didn't grow because we got stuck in our product environment. Now, what I honestly say is, and this is just a God honest truth, right? Is that these bills that we're having today is something that y'all should be thinking about, because people will tell you anything if y'all think that they're relevant to change this. Pick a book up. Just like I said, He said Malcolm X, he said when he went to Mecca, was the first time he seen a white Muslim, right? But you go to certain parts of New York City, and there's white Muslims. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? That's homeowners that own businesses, that own Indians in the Bronx, certain parts of Brooklyn, Staten Island. So I need to understand, unless you see Harlem, no disrespect to Malcolm X, you never seen a white Muslim with blue eyes until you went all the way to Saudi Arabia. You understand what I'm saying? The narrative that they put in these books sometimes is like you said, power. No disrespect to Malcolm X. He's being an example right now because, like I said earlier, how can you give people freedom papers if they don't know how to read? How can you tell a black man that's been forced to be submissive to a white man, here's a paper, and get this white man this paper that's going to say you're free? If you can't even read it, you know what I'm saying? You hear me? So it's these narratives that they create. But since we feel that the person who wrote the book was a world-renowned author, we go with it. And we go for it. Yeah, they're not lying because son do it fast. But how was that a fact? They said that the average African American couldn't read in the plantation. If you picked the book up, you would get slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You had to change your name from Fufu to Andy Davis. You know what I'm saying? You hear me?
Yo, Zig, I want to leave y'all with this last thought before I go back in to the baby. You hear me? The reality is, when all is said and done, man, well, what are we to do as a people? First of all, we got to start loving each other off the bat. That's the first thing we got to start. Listen, just hear me real quick. Let me be going, man. I'm gonna be going like a puff of smoke. You have my word. It starts there. We have to start loving each other sincerely, man. It can't be no, half, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. That shit got to be real love, like Mary J. We got to start accepting our heritage, man, of what we are and where we came from. Honestly, we got to start understanding that our people went through some shit that we should never have to go through. So when we get a bunch of young black millionaires for the first time, instead of visiting them at a grave site, we need to start getting this shit right, man. Before losing them to jail, we need to get them right, man.
Yes.
But they can't get right if they don't have the right people around them, man.
That's a fact. This is reality. Yo, you know what's reality?
Yo, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I see all this shit going on with K-Flocks. I don't even talk about that, man. It bitters me. That's why I said I'm gonna raise my son in my house until I feel he's old enough to go outside. I'm gonna teach him how to hunt and everything. Y'all already know, man. Y'all already know what's up with me, man. Like, y'all know where I'm at. Like, I'm gonna teach him all of the above. I'm gonna teach him how to be a man. For real. It don't take nothing but a man to teach a man. But if you got a bunch of idiots around you and people that don't give a fuck about you, bad shit can happen sometimes, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day, man.
Hey,
man. This is, you know what? These are the conversations that, Saladin, I changed the title to Community Talk. Because now it's conversations that people stray away from. Maybe because, like somebody said, just because you need something doesn't mean you know how to comprehend it. There are a lot of people that don't really know what they're reading or how they taking the information. Okay, I think it's real because he said it, because Biden said it. It doesn't make it real. Do your research on it. I said something that some of y'all should research. Was there a Caucasian Muslim community in New York City when Malcolm X was in New York City, and what zip codes? Because when you say that you never seen one before you went to Saudi Arabia, people are beginning to believe that there wasn't that culture. Because I know when I was growing up, the black Muslims was segregated from the Arabs. And I also remember watching Tarzan. So when they showed our ancestors, there's always somebody in the jungle flying with the monkeys. You know what I'm saying? But one thing my grandfather told me was they made a movie called Roots and Roots, educated the people, made people pick a book up. Right? We got to see a sense of our reality of our ancestors. It wasn't an education. It wasn't like watching the Civil War or something like that. It was a bunch of people being oppressed out of 3-4 seasons. Then you make Planet of the Apes. The Planet of the Apes was, we're not going to make a movie. This is how my grandfather broke it down. They're not going to make a movie of a bunch of African Americans revolting in the plantation. They're going to give you a black power. They're going to make a movie of a bunch of monkeys and gorillas revolting against white America. So then it's like, it's not real.
A lot of people don't see that, Zeke. I'm so glad you touched on that. I'm so glad that you picked up on that and Black Panther. You understand? So there are Caucasians that want to fight more for the plot for our plight, but what they do is they sneak in the message to you under something so that they're not so they don't get in trouble. It's a way to protect them. So when I seen Planet of the Apes, I brought this up on my show. I said when I seen the new Planet of the Apes with Caesar, I understood exactly what they were saying. That somebody got to stand up. And if you look at that movie, Caesar's strongest one. He wasn't the strongest ape. You understand? But because of his intellect and his integrity, the people started to follow him. You understand? Now, you touched on something earlier, and I'm going to leave also because I got to go play video games with my daughter.
Yeah.
You touched on something earlier. You said we always been having these wars throughout history. You had the Christians, and then you had against the Muslims. And when I reinvented myself, I did not give myself some Italian gangster name. I didn't do any of those things. I said, who do I want to be? And I looked up a guy. I learned about a guy named Saladin, who was leading the people and protecting the people against invasion of Christian invaders who was running around killing everything moving, trying to get what they believe in. You understand what I'm saying? It was more of them than it was the Muslims at the time. But here goes Saladin, and Saladin was able to protect his people, and not only protect, he was doing a little bit more than that. They couldn't do anything with him. And I said, that guy, I want to be like Most High. That is the guy. So that is where the name Saladin comes from, because while I'm down here in this time, I'm going to do my part to lead my people back to civilization, to who, and then know who they are. You understand? Right now, that's why I'm so empathetic, because I know we have PST. I know we are institutionalized. So I'm working with my people to get them out of that mindset.
Yes, sir.
So I'm here for it, but I won't compromise them. So a lot of times you guys may think I'm talking about one person.
Yo, Saladin, I know you about to do your thing with your daughters. Yo, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Before you go there, I'm happy you just said what you just said, right? When I was with my daughter's life for the first 5 years before I left the household to pursue a criminal background again, I always read the newspaper. I used to work at night, so I come home, I used to watch it because, the mother goes to work in the daytime. So I'm the babysitter, her and my stepdaughter. I would always read the newspaper and pick my stepdaughter up from school. So one thing my daughter gravitated to was I will always read the newspaper. So she would always want to look at the paper and she read it because she wanted to do what daddy was doing. I thought none of it. It's nothing. I always read the newspaper. Do you know what the one thing my daughter gravitated to was reading, bro? She's a junior in college right now. So now I truly understand that when we run these kids, our nieces and nephews, we're the promotion of whatever they go through, bro. My daughter's a junior in college. My son, he's in college right now. He watched what his sister was doing, so he wanted to be smart. So now my son is a freshman in college. Listen, I'm a guy for the streets. I'm 2 for 2, a boy and girl. Nobody caught no police with the graces of God. I've learned to appreciate life, bro. Because I know hustling in the streets, I fuck families up. I'm living with a lot of, craziness out in these streets. I pay a part of that, you know what I'm saying? But God, for some reason, has spared me and gave my kids a chance to live, at least become something. Because in this country, and I'm going to let you know something. You can have all the hand skills you want, but in this country, you got to have paperwork in them higher levels.
Yeah.
Or you just know how to fix a computer. You got to have a certificate in this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I know that as much as black power.
Got to have a certificate. That, again, going with my...
So I salute you on that, bro. Because
yeah. I can
so
give you guys...
because that is real.
Yeah, I could give the shortcut into this I could because I've been in the industry for 12 years and I see the in and outs and how people could get in. I have the answers how to break in this industry. And you guys may be trying to figure out how I'm going to do it if I don't. Well, you're going to go through you're going to go through the school. That's what you're going to go through. And like I said, I already laid out the plan for you. So that's going to be the path for you guys. But, you know, Jamel Saladin is my YouTube, the same way you see it spelled right there. And you guys can come over. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please come over. I got some interesting stuff to say and things that you may not know. I have a whole playlist on the Khazarians. You understand what I'm saying? It's called Untold Story about an Untold People. And here you will get the education of the Khazarians. You understand? There's certain things we can't talk about on this YouTube. Otherwise, they're going to strike you. So I had to do it a different type of way. Speak to them and I give them their education. There's people I speak to they say, how you know that? They ask me, how you know that? They wiped their whole history from the popular history books. You can't find it at the library, nothing, and they don't teach on it. You understand? So, and then they have you believing Israel was there this whole time. Israel was created and founded in 1948, people. All right? 1948. So I'm gonna leave you with that. If it wasn't there that whole time, then who was Israel? You understand? Where was Israel? I got the answer. Come on over to Jamel Saladin. We'll talk about it. Yo, Zeke Black, I love you, bro. Thanks for having me up here.
Bro.
You heard me?
Definitely salute, bro. Salute.
Thank you, bro.
And he the Saladin, Shaw 120, Latin Pain, even Smitty, he tried to log in, but where he's at, you know what I'm saying? Palestine. A lot, it's a point. These are conversations, right? Because a lot of us grew up in our households watching the news and seeing what's going on since our generation between the Israelis and the Palestinians, the 7-Day War. Remember the 7-Day War? And originally, from my knowledge, I could be wrong, but we can know something in history. When the Israelis, when they first went from wherever they had to go to get to Palestine, which is now Israel, right? It was the Christians they moved out. Those are the ones they pushed out. Then the Arabs stepped in. I could be wrong. I can teach. We can learn something here. And that's what we've been hearing for the last 20, 30 years. Y'all saw Africa and the rest of them going to war with, the Israelis, because the Israelis basically took their land. But what they're trying to say is the Jewish community, the Christians, the Arabs, that's all a piece of land one way or another. Jerusalem and the rest of that. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but y'all could do your own research. But the original 7-Day War was with the Arabs. It was with the Christians, with the Palestinian Christians, that nobody speaks about no more. Nobody speaks about them. So like I told you, these cultural wars have been going on for centuries, since AD, BC, CC, since Mesopotamia and Costa, whatever the thing with the sea. A lot of these issues were going on way before Christ. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. You got to understand there's a lot of mixed hate. Yes, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of it's just like the missionaries, the Catholic missionaries. Capitalism is a worldwide thing because the Catholic Church was in Mexico, it was in all these countries, it was in Africa, and they were leading other Catholics. That's why that's one of the largest religions is Catholicism, because they was all over the place, not just in Rome. They was in Africa, they was in Central America, South America. You have Roman Catholics and you have regular Catholics, you know what I'm saying? But it's all Catholicism. You even got some Catholics in Ireland, you know what I'm saying? You hear me? It's just history, bro. Like I said, but if I am wrong, you guys could do your own research. Get the mind going. Pick a book up. You know what I'm saying? Pick your book up. Just pick a book up. It's all it takes to pick a book up. A lot of us are related through coaches, through traveling, through looking for, as they say, spices. You know what I'm saying? How do you from Europe and you're trying to get to India, but you end up in something you call the West Indies? And one of the largest educational institutions of the world is from Great Britain, because they had an influence over education in the colonies, some colonies of Africa, right? Then we can't forget about in Jamaica, educational influence, Canada, right? Educational influence, China, educational influence, Iraq, educational influence, because Britain was in all these countries. So they go like, even in certain parts of India has an Indian, thing. But y'all, so this is why we gotta have these conversations. We're wasting our conversations going back and forth over jail bills. We can have the jail conversation, but it's a bigger world. You want to know your history? Ask your grandfather. Do your own research. You'll be surprised what you find out, man. Who would have thought that there's a certain part of Eastern Europe that has a whole bunch of Caucasian Muslims? Yeah. Yes. England used to rule their country, just like England used to rule Iraq. Just like England used to. Ronald said it best. History is written by winners of war. Bingo. Never the losers. The winners. And they narrate the stories the way they do. Think about this. How you going from Europe and you're trying to get to India to get spices, but you keep ending up in Puerto Rico, the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? You're ending up in Trinidad. You're ending up in all these other countries, but the place you're really trying to get to, like you had navigation. But we allow, like Ronald said, and I like what Ronald just said, we allow people to write these books and put these stories together. And just because we believe that they're official or they're professional writers, boom, Seven God. That's why we have to do our own research, bro. Holy war is still going on. That's a fact. We see what's going on just in Syria, within Syria. We see what's going on in these countries, Syria. Who are the Syrians oppressing in Syria? The Christians. You know what I'm saying? 90% in the little tribes that don't follow suit. Who in Iran, the Iranians is oppressing? Probably the Sunnis, the little tribes, and the Christians. Going on in these countries. Why you think you meet somebody that's from Syria, blue eyes and everything? They're Christian. They're Christian. Yo, I'm Christian. I'm not. Or you know what I'm saying? I'm not. Read how many of the population of what's in these people. We're going to war with these countries over 10%, 10% of this information. We speak on it and do your own research, but do the research with your grandkids. Your nephew who talks about K-Flock all day. Now learn something today, bro. I ain't gonna fuck. Made me really start really picking books up after that was when K was wearing my philosophy, because he was saying a lot of things. He said a lot of things that made me pick a book up. What the hell do you mean about black and this other shit he's talking about, boom? Because sometimes you get so caught up in the streets, being worried about who on the corner, who the boss, who got the new BMW that we don't, that I took the time, I don't take the time out of doing my own personal inventory. Now it's going to be a street individual and be foolish and have no sense and act like you ain't got no sense. It wasn't like that back in the days. You had to have some sense, right? Boom. When I was younger, I grew up in Spanish Harlem. I had 5 friends that was Catholics. All my friends was Catholic. And I was a Catholic church, right? So one day, this is a lesson to be learned, right? I will always talk about hip hop, DMC, Adidas, my hip hop. But they will always look at me like, see, that's all you talk about is hip hop. This hip hop shit, into the Beach Street and style, just I thought I was in a conversation. So they said, I want to ask you something. What else do you know? And I got stuck. Okay, you hang out with us, you see what we do. What you know about Catholic? What you know about the church? Yo, and I didn't know, bro. Nothing. And that's what made me start going to the Catholic church to learn something. I used to go to the Catholic church with my friend John Ramundi. And shout out to my man John Ramundi, that they're the ones that put me onto that. Like, son, you talk about all this other shout out to the Carver Mall. My man Pansy owns a pizza shop at 109th and 3rd Ave Support. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Speak on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made me start learning. So I would go to Catholic church with my friend John, San Francisco D Sales at 96th Street, to learn about the Catholic church. That's how I learned. I started going to church. I didn't because now it's like the only thing you talk about is street shit, hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just learning people. And when I went to this church, I seen Native Americans, I seen some African Americans, some Africans, I seen some, this is a cultural thing. A lot of the religions is cultural, right? And I said, yo, this is deep, man. Because I go to a Baptist church in the hood, you see 80 blacks and 80 blacks. You know what I'm saying? So you see things differently, you know what I'm saying? But look how manipulation works, right? They created something that where we praise, God, right? The white man. They showed a picture of a white man, right? Jesus, whatever. How do you get the picture, right? Then I was watching the Nat Turner movie, and I seen how they was using the Bible to oppress the people. Exactly. Simple manipulation. So you're telling me you went to a bunch of Native Americans in America and said, listen, for 2 pieces of corn, we want all this land, and he signed off on this. Again, you're saying these people who don't know how to comprehend information, but you went to a bunch of people you don't know what the hell they're talking about. Come here. Here, sign off on this. I got 2 pieces of corn and some rice for you and a fox fur. And this is how they got the Hamptons. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Just to say, as an example. This is how we got Long Island, because we've been up some Native Americans, some drinks, and boom. Yeah, shout out to my fairies out there. And I'm gonna tell you about another thing. I'm gonna tell you something else that's deep, right? When I got married the first time, I got married in an Israelite church because the person I got married to, her family was Israelites. And you know what I'm saying? So I actually got married in a temple, not a church, a temple. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. So again, they trying to tell us that they want to a bunch of people have some drinks and say, yo, son, sign off on this. Mind you, they're saying these people couldn't comprehend. These people from the wild. But you put in the history book, and they actually got deeds with signatures and everything. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Old signatures, whatever was signed on the rock, and it's just how we got this land. But we listen to it because we believe it's true knowledge. We believe that it's true history. Because the person who wrote the book is world renowned. Boom, exactly. Exactly, bro. Imagine using religion as a form of power. What was the wins and losses out the Holy War? If they're saying some of the oldest march jids is in Spain, and they have a large Muslim community in Spain, why isn't there a large Muslim community in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Portugal, I don't even see Portuguese. That's a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? South America, Central America. Why isn't there a large Muslim communities if you're saying some of the oldest masjids are in Spain that's out of Asia? Ain't this better than me talking about 6ix9ine? Ain't this conversation a whole lot better than talking about 6ix9ine? Ain't this conversation a whole lot better than me talking about K-Flock? I have to think about this, right? So why isn't there a large Muslim community in Puerto Rico if they're saying that they came from the Spaniards and the Taino Indians and some of the slaves? This is how these communities was building. Why isn't there a large community of Muslims in Puerto Rico? You have to do your own research. Okay, it's okay to hit the like button. It's okay to be smart. You know what I'm saying? Whole community. Exactly. Yo, hold on, careful. I don't even think there's anyone from Cuba, but Spain had a whole community. And if you're saying, when it came to that generation, right, of exploring. I like this, Kenny Apple, right? Spain, France, and Great Britain were the three three of the most major countries that was doing all the exploration. Not just them, but those were major countries that was doing they're sending you over here, they're sending you over there. They was on the great basis of finding new lands. America was found, the West Indies was found, lands was found and discovered, right? That they claimed that nobody else was on until they got it. You know what I'm saying? You drop these plans. Boom, we own this. So now this is some G shit, right? So you seeing the Spaniards that left Spain on them boats, not one was Muslim? Oh, let's get our chatter in here. If you got time, have a chatter, let's get you in the building. Because we gotta have this talk. They're telling me that there was no Muslims on those boats that came that left those lands that had no influence. But then you're telling us, right? Y'all can join the stream, y'all. Just want to go crazy, you know what I'm saying? Join the stream, y'all. You're like, I want to talk about 7 guard. You can pull up, you can hide your face and all that. We need to talk about this. Somebody need to talk. I need to know when they saying that some of the oldest masjids in the world out of Asia is in Spain. Why isn't there an old masjid in Puerto Rico? You know what I'm saying? Cuba. What's popping? Why isn't there average chatters in the building? Boom. Then think about this. Just think about this. What we know about the Moors was Tarzan. Flying with the monkeys, swinging across, fighting the Moors of Morocco. The first time I heard the word Moor was watching Tarzan. You know what I'm saying? The first time I heard the word, maybe because I'm a little older. Much love, BX in the building, man. Bronx love. The first time I ever heard the word Moors was in Tarzan. The Moroccans and all this other craziness. He's flying, Tarzan was flying through the jungles with the little monkey. It was swinging across. Yo, this is some deep shit. So where are these old masjids at? Yes. Kenny Alpha, that was a great thing. Hold on, we gotta get back to Kenny. Definitely. The Barbershop, those are Caribbean nuts, and they have their own cards and boom. Because I need to know when they decided to put their flag down and go, we discovered this land. There wasn't, out of all the mixed breeding, there wasn't no salat being made. But you're gonna tell me if I go to Spain, I'll find some of the oldest masjids. We're not talking about the ones that Muhammad may have walked through, but Muhammad's, you know, his underlings and his right hands kids and great grandkids may have made salat. Because what was achieved out of the holy wars was land, property. Definitely. G-Wars in the building, man. That's what came out of the holy wars. You don't get it? Alexander the Great, I said, eat the candy, remember? Alexander the Great. I didn't know he was a real person. I thought he was like the lemon heads and all that. Remember the lemon heads and the Chico sticks? I see Andre the Great. Now he's buy the candy all day, eating the candy. I didn't know that. I watched a movie called Alexander the Great. Now all that he's did in all his travels, living like a prince, the only part of the movie that everybody ever spoke about was that he was into allegedly some man. So they left that part out of the whole movie. We'd have learned something, but they put that one part in it, and everybody forgot about all that he was doing, traveling, taking all this land that he was doing. No, he was into men. Definitely. Peace, Seven God. Definitely. All them islands have codes of their own that they try to get the islands to follow. Facts. That's how capitalism isn't it? Because isn't capitalism all over the world, right? How does capitalism get to Argentina, Ecuador, right? Chile, right? So the Catholics was exploring and discovering land. It was passing on their religion. You got a large original Catholic community in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Right? Everything else, even Jewish communities, you got Jews that live in South America. That came from Germany, bro. That came from the USSR, bro. You know what I'm saying? That came from the USSR. So everywhere they went, they plant their seed. So now I need to understand why Spain. So now the Spaniards that did have influence passed on capitalism. This is some deep shit. Who wrote the book? You know what I'm saying? Who wrote the book? This guy, see? We're not, double shout to the Black Lions. We have to wait. Who wrote the book here? See, you're telling me. I like they said tribes. I like that. But every place that Great Britain went, even in Northern Ireland, even in a part of Ireland, is Protestants. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? And there's Catholicism in Ireland. Told the first one I knew about Alexander the Great was on the candy, Chico sticks, baked beans, the candies. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Bazooka gun. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You need to check this out, Mark. You need to know this. Just check out Carino lifting up the veins. Yeah, we gotta. These are the things, because then we have these conversations around our kids, and they want to learn that and pick up a book. I'm not gonna go outside and kill today. Why? I'm learning something online. I'm going on Google. I'm learning about some history. I need to figure this shit out. Yep, that's what I heard too. The IRA situation. That's because me knowing about that information came from the 80s, growing up, hearing about the IRA. They was trying to blow each other up. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep the kids from killing each other. Wait a minute, man, I'm not going outside today. I'm going to Google this shit. Yo, why is it that there's no Muslims that go on islands like that? Like, there's no old marsh. I'm not saying there's no Muslims, but then they're saying that Filipinos, there's a large Muslim community out there in the Philippines. And I ain't on the front. When I was in school, I had to do some reading. There is a large Muslim community in China by the Russian border. You know what I'm saying? Asian Muslims. You know what I'm saying? They have a large so when you go to some of these Chinese restaurants that don't serve pork but halal, because they come from an Asian part of in a part of China that has Islamic influence, even in the USSR. I believe one of the areas other than Chechnya, that's a large in the USSR, and I think the area where they had that bad explosion at, where the nuclear warehouse blew up, they had they have a large Muslim community in that area also, Islamic in the USSR. So you're telling me there's a portion of China that has a large community of Muslims. So when the Muslims went to that part of China, they had an influence. You're gonna take a shahada. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? So a lot of these, yeah. So a lot of these holy wars is all about gaining land. You know what I'm saying? Because it was all about gaining land. These holy wars wasn't because of it may have started off with God, but it ended off with land, and land. Well, facts, exactly. Land, and land. Big Drip says Indonesia has, which is Asia, has the largest population of Muslims in the world. Facts, feed the wolves. Kenny Alpha says Czechia was part of the USSR, as you said. It's a Muslim community, basically. Facts. Fly Mike, shout out to Fly Mike's in the building. You heard? He says they are ostracized and being held in concentration camps. The Muslims in China. You know what I'm saying? Ronald says Kazakhstan is Russia. I may be saying it wrong, and they have a lot of Muslims. Fly Mike says, follow AJ News for the whole story. We're having this, definitely shout out to original Wayne OBX. You know what I'm saying? We're having these conversations because we gotta have these. So the kids will go, Dad, I'm not gonna kill nobody, baby, because I'm gonna learn something. This guy, is he black? They say he be drunk and all this other crazy shit. He was talking some shit. I wanna see what the fuck he talking about. This is big life, man. We run around deaf, dumb, and blind, so we just run around like we wild animals. Like we savages. So much education coming on. I might not be saying things right, but y'all fixing it in the conversation, bro. You know what I'm saying? Babs Chatter said there's only 3 marches in Puerto Rico, but you're saying the Spaniards, which controlled your island, had this influence, but they didn't push that agenda. So it has to make sense. Who's writing these history books? You know what I'm saying? But we know Catholicism is worldwide. You got Catholicism in Africa. Because he get Tutu, he just passed away. You know what I'm saying? I met Catholic Africans. You know what I'm saying? What? In Africa. Capitalism. So every other, definitely Marquise Terry, thank you for the $20 donation. Salute, Marquise. This is serious, man. Definitely salute to Marquise for the $20 donation. I just want the kids. I want to the conversation. Well, definitely salute the original, you know what I'm saying? The original BX Wayno, you know what I'm saying, from the Bronx. He's another brother with a lot of information, man. Pick brothers like Brain. How we save the youth is having these conversations and make them go, Dad, I'm not going outside today. Why? Because I want to learn something. I could Google this. It's interesting to know. These old guys talk about some shit that made sense because they don't want to listen to us because all we do is call them young and dumb niggas. So why would they want to tune in to us for? Why would the youth want to tune in to us? If all we do is say they're young and dumb, when I was back in 88, when I was doing this, we wasn't doing that. So why would they want to take the time to go? Listen what he got to say. Because all we do is shoot at them. So let's change the shooting to nigga pick a book up. We're going to make you pick a book up. We're going to say some controversial shit, and we're going to make you pick a book up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. China used to have Chinese people black as night, but they were colonized too. They learned martial arts from us. Check out Original BX. He has some information. Hidden Colors, very informative about presence all over the globe. Hidden Colors. I believe who made that? That's a good one. I think I seen Hidden Colors on 116th Street in this African restaurant. It's a famous African restaurant. It's two spots. It's one on 116th Street, and they have another location, or they had another location downtown Brooklyn and Park Slope over Fifth Avenue. I went to the one that's on 116th between Lenox and Fifth. I went to go see it in there. Hidden Colors. The thing about it, though, yeah, Tariq, not she. Yep, I went to go see it when it came out. The Africans that own, you know what I'm saying? The Africans that own that restaurant is Caucasian Africans. That's what I heard. They from Africa, but they Caucasians. The first time I seen a Caucasian African was I played golf. I forgot his last name. He was a white guy. He claims I'm from South Africa. African. The first African I seen out of Tarzan, Shaka Zulu that had some power was a Caucasian golfer from Africa. He was a famous golfer too. I forgot his name. I used to watch golf in there. You know, we all watch Worldwide Sports. That all came with Worldwide Sports. You had to watch golf to get to the boxing. We're talking about the era of the Sugar Ray Leonards, Thomas Hearns, Marvelous Hagler, and all that generation of boxing. We had to spend 12 hours out of our day watching the Olympics. This guy running around blocks just to get to watching the boxing. Don't think we was outside all day just being losers, because we was learning some shit. We had to watch. So I think his last name was Norman. Something. I gotta Google this. It was an African golfer that was famous, but he was white, Caucasian. But you know what though? Again, what I'm doing now, and it's as crazy as this sound, Fly Mike, I'm learning. I'm learning. Look, Elon Musk is South African. Facts feed the wolves. I'm learning to not look at the person no more and take the message. Because what happens is I get caught up in the conversation of the messenger and not the message. He put a movie out that made people think. Or anything else he does on his private time to get his views or whatever he's doing for Mike, that's his agenda. But he put out something that was, boom. Marquis says, apartheid in South Africa is reversed. The whites there are majority in province while the blacks prosper. Salute Nelson Mandela. Facts. I remember the whole apartheid thing because at one point, I didn't wear Reeboks because some guy bodies educated me on. They said that Reebok was actually supporting the country that supported apartheid in Africa. Like they were sending money to that cause. But shout out to Nelson Mandela. He changed a lot around. You know what I'm saying? G-Wars. These kids gotta just sit down for years and learn. It ain't nothing. It's no getting to them. I'm 30. See, come home. I came home May 1st, 2021. Salute G-Wars. Original Boss BX. He goes, remember, Africa is named after European Sippo Africanus. See? That's a powerful thing he said right there. I never knew that. So now y'all can do your research on that. And when you do your research on it, it's going to be so much information in your research. You're going to be, oh my God, y'all become addicted to the information. Salute the original Wayno BX, bro. Remember a name, you know what I'm saying? European, bro. Definitely salute that Shatter. You know what I'm saying? That was real, bro. That's information. Make your mind think. I'm gonna look into this shit because those will come out with so much information. South Africa isn't saying you were a felon, no passport, and you gotta stay here. They're like, get a ticket or bullet, your choice. So I see them in America. You know what I'm saying? That was so deep. With Boss, because that's information, man. I realized when I made past shows where I said young and dumb, or I promoted some type of crazy gang activity or whatever, it separates the community. They just like Fly Mike said, we're separating the communities through content. So now we change the content, right? We change it up. We begin to have conversations that make us think. Because we want the kids. Because why? Because why? It's like that's what our parents. We don't want to hear what our parents yell and criticize. Imagine when we go on live, when the young boys do something dumb, yo, they're young and dumb and they drug addicts. So why would they want to listen to us? So let's change the thinking around, right? You know, the when I in 88, boom, and this is how we was moving this to now, and create a conversation to make them pick a book up or Google. Instead of looking at what happened with Master P, I'm going over here. I want to learn about this African stuff. I want to see the world now. How are you going to see the world? Do riches. I got to get money. What was the benefit of the Holy Wars? Can I ask any of you on the chat? What was one of the most benefits of the Holy War? One of the strongest religions in the world is Catholicism. Why? They're everywhere. They got Catholic churches in Argentina, Ecuador, Chile, Panama, right? South America, Central America. That's power. That's the power of the Catholic Church. What was a part of the Catholic Church before old boy said, what? I can't get married. I can't divorce my wife. England. England was a part of the Catholic Church at one point in time. And then they stepped away from them, and then they went to the other one, the Angelicans or something like that. I could be wrong. I'm saying it wrong, but y'all can fix it. Angelicans. But look how much influence England had. Whenever property or land or country had a hold of, they pushed Catholicism. That's a worldwide army, Catholicism. And those same people from the Holy Wars that had Catholicism, they became political figures in these countries. They became the influence. And that's how you gain this influence. Well, one of the most influential countries in the world is England. I could be wrong here. I could be wrong. Salute Omar James, I could be wrong. Well, I appreciate that, bro, because I have to be different, bro. This is so dope. What you know what I'm saying? This is so dope, man. But because we don't have these conversations and people give us names and we don't even know where the names came from. The Europeans named Africa. So who the hell wrote the map? The winners, not the losers. You know what I'm saying? Who made these maps? The global maps. We ain't write it. I was watching a documentary on PBS. Yes, I watched that. Some of y'all should watch that with your kids. I was watching PBS with your grandkids. I was watching PBS and they would say, I didn't know that one of the largest African populations is in Brazil somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But they have no power in their country. I don't know if I'm talking facts, but if not, y'all can do your own history. Average chat, she's in the building. She's shopping. She in the building. Shout out to wifey. She out there shopping too. Love you, Southern Belle. I love you. I love you. I love you. But I get to the thing that average chat is saying. Haitians were the only island in the Caribbean that refused the Queen of Britain's rule and won. That's why they don't receive any aid from the USA to this day. That's deep. Big drip. Catholicism had intertwined with the original African religions like Haitian, Voodoo, and Santa Maria. Milk in the coffee, Malcolm X facts, feed the wolves. So what was the biggest gain out of the Holy Wars? Influence in the land. What comes from influence in the land? Economics. You get down the down, right? So if you're not a part of this, if you're not going to come to the Catholic Church, or you're not going to go to this masjid to take the Shahada, then you're part of the problem. You have no power here. You have no say here. And then as history began to change, we're going to make constitution rules and regulations that's going to keep it this way. We're still following a constitution that was written 200 years ago in today's society, which does not make sense. That's just in America. Just imagine that following from BC in the mother countries. You know what I'm saying? JB says they put the truth right in your face. Sounds like Webster Dictionary. Most words are in Latin, Greek, etc. English words in the dictionary might be 2% of the book. It's just something to speak about. I remember I went to Catholic church in the the father was speaking, and he started talking Latin. And I didn't know, and I looked at my man mom, I was like, I never heard that type of Latin before. She said, that's Latin. So I said, wow, that's deep. So the same Latin that he spoke, everybody that was in that room. So I would always ask somebody, like, definitely I would say, yo, what's Latin? He says, yo, because I seen it was a Latin king guy there was a Latin king I met in jail that was Irish. I said, but you're not Latin. You know what I'm saying? He says, yes, I am, because I'm Catholic and I speak Latin, but I don't speak that type of Latin, but I know Latin. And I don't know if he said it right, or he was just saying this to like, but forget his gang involvement. I learned something. Forget the gang. I said, what? So some Irish, because of the religion, they understand some Latin, just like the Italians, Latin. Oh, so that's what you all got in common, Latin. So Latin had to have some type of power and strength, because when you go into these other countries, what's the power? Catholicism in all these, what we say, Latin countries. Now, what's the difference between Italian Latin and Puerto Rican Latin? You know what I'm saying? Original BX. Know the history of the war between Catholics and Protestants. Protestants derived from the word protest. The leader of the Protestant movement was Martin Luther, who our leader, M.A.K., is named after. Yes, Luke. That was deep what originally Bronx BX said right there. History, going to the books. Dog man, you're so right, exactly. The only other churches I've seen that sort of different was like the Orthodox Russian churches. Because I don't think Catholicism is big in the U.S. They have their own church, like the Orthodox Church of Russia. I could be saying, well, I see some Greek churches, and I've seen some, when you go like to 86th Street, the Yorkville area, a lot of them wasn't Catholics, but you've seen different, you know what I'm saying? I like this. It was polytheism and monotheism, one God versus many gods. See, we're building. I like this conversation, you know what I'm saying? Big Jeff says the original Bible was written in Greek. Who learned from the Egyptian Book of the Dead? As a matter of fact, Alex Chatter said, I guess the guy name wasn't Martin, it was Michael. Ronald goes, Martin Luther was German. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther was assassinated by the Queen of England because of that. Facts. Capitalism is worldwide. That's what all these religions tie into. Capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Think about if I'm Catholic and I go to Protestants argue, why should they confess their sins to man when they had a direct connection to God? Yo, this is dope. This is information, man. Yo, this is so much information right here, man. This information, you can't beat this type of information, man. This is, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to tell you about my little English Britain thing. When the King of England decided to go, I'm not doing the Catholicism thing, and I'm moving on to the Anglicans. Now, as funny as it sounds, as funny as it sounds, right? As funny as it sounds, right? They also say the Anglicans are like what the Ku Klux Klan represent, the whole white, the Caucasian thing. I forgot what they call it, man. What they call that, man? They call it a word, man. There's a whole bunch of them in Europe. There's a whole bunch of them. They come from this religion, Anglo-Saxon. Is that the Anglicans, the Anglo-Saxons? I believe it's the Anglo-Saxons. There's a whole bunch of them in Europe. But when you think about the Ku Klux Klan, that's what they would say, Anglo-Saxons. Black salute to the black lives. Yeah, this is deep right here. Because I know the Ku Klux Klan, part of their whole thing was Anglo-Saxon, right? Then I went on one time, I went on BBC, and there's a whole bunch of them in Europe, like by like Britain or Scotland, the little areas, just Anglo-Saxons. Now think about this. When the King of England says, "I'm leaving capitalism to go to the England to this Anglican situation," right? That I remember. I could be wrong, but I guess if I'm wrong, I can fix it here because we all smart. Smart people learn together, not against each other. My people learn knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So how 300 years later, you know what I'm saying? You have a race of people that's in the South of America, the Southern states, the slave states, that follow this Anglo-Saxon white pride. You know what I'm saying? This is one to think about. The problem is one white situation that follows God and what God and how they interpret the Bible and how they manipulate what's coming out of it to a bunch of people that come from a foreign land that don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but you read it, you're making me believe that this God is telling me to do everything wrong. What I mean is, it's over. I listen to Master, I pick cotton, and I gotta be, you know what I'm saying? That's deep. That is deep. The KKK is a subset of that thugs. Exactly. Let's get into it, Big Drip. Let's talk about it, baby. Let's talk about it. That's what I'm talking about, Big Drip. Get that mind going. We're getting that mind going. The white angelic and Saxons were the Saxons like the Vikings. The Saxons were the knife that they used to kill people and take their land. That's how they got their name. Facts, feed the wolves. Because the guys with the white mask, that's what you have become Anglo-Saxons. So that Anglo-Saxon that was in America, it was just in the South? No. Because remember, they claimed that the King of England sent his troops, the pilgrims, all the prisoners, and all the undesirables to America. So again, who writes the books? Fly Mike, wild, weird fact. Aryans believe they are the lost people of Atlantis before it sunk in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Everything becomes economic, and they'll find a way to be economic. We're gonna have another show on this. Yo, I appreciate everybody that came through, man, because as they're having this more conversation, we're over the crowd, we're realizing like, yo, something is wrong here, bro. Something is wrong here. These are the conversations even though we have all the other craziness that goes on. We gotta have these conversations. I don't care who's real, who's fake. This is a deep conversation we having, bro. Because I bet you some of y'all sitting by your grandkids or your kids or even your girl or even just by yourself Googling shit that niggas just, oh shit. And it's gonna be like a drug. You're gonna become addicted to that information. You know what I'm saying? Because how come there was Anglo-Saxons in the South, but you're saying there was none in the North? You know what I'm saying? There's Anglo-Saxons in Central America, but definitely all through Europe. You got Nazi Germans, the ones that ran away, that was dipping and dodging, that has influence because of money that they stole in places like Argentina. Some of the richest, I just said something about one of the richest Jews in America come out of a Latin country. He has a Latin last name, one of the richest Jews in the world. He come out of, I think, one of the Spanish countries. His last name is Spanish, but he's Jewish. Because where he came from, you know, they mixed with the people and they built their people. Because, you know, in World War II, that's what they ran to. They ran to like Central America with the originals, the ones that got away before the whole 60s, 50s with the 7-Day War and all that other stuff. And you learn a lot about the 7-Day War watching Bugsy Siegel, because they was putting money into the people that put those countries in Israel. That's how Israel became what Israel became. But they actually, to my knowledge, their first fight was with the Wasps were the first people to use the sax knife to skin the Native Americans like you see in the cowboy movies. Facts. So again, the winners write the books and the losers, because we the more that we have these conversations, we're learning something. You know, I went to the Arch. As crazy as this shit sound, I went to the Arch, me and wifey. They got a whole bunch of history. You come to St. Louis, visit the Arch. Have a lot of, because you know, in this area, this was a part of the Louisiana Purchase. So there's a whole bunch of Germans and a lot of culture here from those countries, right? Hell yeah. So now I'm gonna tell you what happened. Yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy as it sounds. I'm about to tell you, right? I see this thing they talk about the slaves. They said the first slaves in the state of in St. Louis. Because I guess the first World's Fair was here in St. Louis, somewhere in the world. One of the first ones in the Midwest, at least. The Native Americans enslaved the first black slaves. So the first slave owners in the Midwest, in this area, this region, they're saying was Native Americans. Now, my thing was, how the hell did the Indian chief get to Africa and snatch up a pile of Africans and drove all the way through them southern good old states to get to St. Louis with the first slaves that was in the city of St. Louis was actually slaves of Native Americans. Y'all gotta Google this shit. This is gonna bug you out, man. I gotta change the title, Black Jess. I gotta change the title because the title turned into something more important. You know what I'm saying? The content is great. I have to change it to community talk because it was a great community conversation. It started off with that, but look where we at now. We in a history class right now, bro. You hear me? The history class is so deep. Everybody's chiming in, and it's all for free. It's all free knowledge. We're not talking about Flock. We're not talking about C Blue. We're not talking about D-Dang. We know what the youth won't listen to us for because we keep knocking them niggas down. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the young and dumb, I don't fuck with niggas. Because we feel that we have nothing else to talk unless we're talking about what they're talking about. No, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. We're going to make you do the research on what we're talking about. You're going to learn something. We want your mind to get addicted, just like you get addicted to that lean, that marijuana, that alcohols, and you're going to go, let me learn some shit right here. That's a lie. When we had tribal wars, we would have slaves, but they would not be treated and they were eventually let go. Somebody said that in the chat earlier. I think it was Ron. Somebody. He's right. Only the winners, Ronald. Somebody named Ronald. I got to give him his accolades. He said, who writes the book? The winners. You're right. Because when the losers write the book, normally poor, they go to some jail, or there's some type of character flaw. So they make us not listen to the person that actually passed the information, man. That's what I want to know, right? Is capitalism big in Africa? I just would like to know, is capitalism major in Africa? Other than they show us about Uganda or Nigeria, is there a large population of Catholics in Africa? Because now we can't call the youth young adult. We're giving. Thank you, Average Shadow. Yep, it's bigger than Islam. So why do they keep saying that? You know, Morocco, Egypt, all these people are in Africa, and they're saying that we the people we derive from Africa Okay, yes. It's my bad. He said, bigger than Christianity. Gotcha. See, Christianity. So how is it that the first slaves that they brought over, but they just went to the Islamic side? They said, "Come here, you know Muhammad, get in the bus." Is that what they was doing when they was snatching the slaves up? Come on. Well, yeah, you had your religion card, like yo, miss you. Okay, Catholic, you good. Yo, oh, now you Muslim, get. It wasn't doing that. So I know there had to have been a trace of Catholic slaves. That was, you know what I'm saying? Of course. Original Bronx BS says, of course, Anglo-Saxons are actually Germans who inhabited England during the 5th century. So, of course, those who came to America, whether north or south, were the same, 100. And we watch even movies like Glory. Who was those Irish soldiers from Boston fighting against? The Germans in the South. If I'm right, watch old Civil War documentaries. They had many German regiments that was on the Confederate side and some on the northern side. When they said when they was fighting, and so at one part of the war, you had two lines: one that was Irish and that was Confederate, and one that was Irish that was Union. Even here in St. Louis, there's a large, they call it Dogtown. There's a large German community. That is so deep. Now, y'all Google the 5th century. So look at their influence. Look what originally, this is so dope. Of course, Anglo-Saxons are actually Germans who inhabited England during the 5th century. So, of course, those who came to America, whether north or south, are the same. It's the same, man. Yo, bro, this is getting the minds going, man. Because I said, if we say something wrong, y'all know the answer. Let's have this conversation. Now there's some young dumb niggas sitting somewhere going, look at these old niggas talk about some crazy shit. But this is some deep shit. I'm learning something. This is what some young cruisers talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely what somebody out there that want to pay attention to something, that want to learn something. You're going, look what these old guys is talking. What they talk about? God, gee, no, we're taking down the power of religion that nobody speaks about. The power of race and religion. The power. What came out of all this? Peace, 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 Sunny One CV. When we all over the world, and it was the time the continents was close to traveling to each other and nothing. We know them as German, English, etc. Yes, JB said, selling the Bible for a profit order for maintaining power. The Quran was competing, therefore they started selling people. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Dirty game, man. It's a dirty game. Control, man. And if you know how to manipulate, when you know how to give somebody accolades, you put somebody on a pedestal, then the manipulation game changes. Because it depends on who co-signs what and what status they are given from the people. It depends on that. You see, when you don't have these gang conversations, there's not going to be too many gang comments. Because we're learning something. We're having a conversation where we all can learn something. I remember my mother used to watch, when you're poor, you have to watch black and white TV. So we would watch the news. And they would talk about this war that was going on in Israel, right? The Palestinians versus the Israelis. But who would have thought reading a book? Wait a minute. When they first went over there, they ran off the Christians. That's deep. Again, it deals with religion. Money and power, Stroke said. That's what said. Money and power. The Atlantic slave trade was direct opposition with the Arab slave trade. Now you see books in the Bibles first. It's history being made, man. How can't we respect history? This is history. It wasn't the benefit of God in doing all these wars. Yeah, God played a part to it with a higher power. But what was the repercussions that came out of religion? How many countries is capitalism big? How many countries is Islam big? How many countries do the Jewish community are big? How many countries that these people, you know what I'm saying? Original Bronx BX goes, Louisiana Purchase, fact, his victory over France and Napoleon forced France to sell to the U.S. And that's these areas, Kansas, Missouri, Louisiana. That's this little area over here that has a mix of Mexicans, Mexicanos, and like you said, the French. As funny as it sounds, you would think in St. Louis, they got the symbol. They got another church out here that has a lot of strength, but they have that French symbol, but there's not a French influence in St. Louis, which is weird. It's not really a large French influence. Or there might be, but they don't speak upon it. Because I would think that there would be a large French influence, but there's more of a German influence. They got something called Dogtown. You know what I'm saying? Average Chatter says Negroes was a tribe of people in Alabama. Well, actually said it, and the Anglo man couldn't pronounce it right, so hence we now have the word Niggeo. Christianity is a vast religion, just like our language. It's like a Puff Daddy made religion. It's a remix of all cultures. 4, 5, 6 religion is why the world is effed up. I don't respect or acknowledge any of them because it became a profit. What came out of religion? Power. Why do you think in most of these countries, what was head of state at one point in time? The church. And the church played a part to, the British Empire. The church played a part. This is as crazy as this sounds. I think the one of the major church of Spain is Catholic. They're saying that some of the oldest martyrs is in Spain, out of Asia. You know what I'm saying? So some of these countries, what's the top religion? The religion that, when the kings they had the church, they had God by them. That was the whole manipulation. They had the church. Boom. The rabbi come in, or the cardinal come in, or whoever, and the saint comes in, and he's the word. Because he speaks directly through God, through Texas. Listen, this is what's going on, such and such, around my back, what should I do? Yeah. So it becomes a power play, and when you when you believe in you know what I'm saying? Like Greece. Nobody talks about, every time we hear about Greece now, it's always they're going through all these financial difficulties, they're going to bankrupt. All this we hear about Greece. But then as we grew up in school, all they spoke about was Greek gods, right? The Greek gods and the Olympics and all the power the Greeks had. But now all of a sudden, the Greeks are some of the poorest countries in the world. Greece is one of the poorest countries in the world. He goes, they own, you know what I'm saying? Yep, see? These are conversations that we got to have, Big Drip. These are conversations. And like I said, it's a start off slow, but we're going to have these type of conversations other than some of the other stuff I got to report on. I'm trying to go in this route. You know what I'm saying? If everybody want to jump in, y'all can pull up, let me know. Yes, capitalism is big in Africa. Remember, Archbishop Desmond Tutu is Catholic. Rest in peace to Desmond Tutu. Even when what's his name? Nelson Mandela was in the can. He had influence. He was Archbishop, rest in peace Tutu, was still running around. He was the Archbishop of Africa. Black like us. True story, man. He passed away, man. So when we speak upon these things, this is, yes, capitalism is big in Africa. CMC, remember, Archbishop Desmond Tutu was Catholic. It's a fact. And he's a dark-skinned African. I'm going to tell you what raised a lot of conversations about Ethiopia. As crazy as it sounds, right? So recently, Jamaican, I'm going to keep it on. I just assumed that they was all Jamaican. I didn't know it came out of Ethiopia. They showed when Michael Jackson did the We Are the World thing. Everybody gonna read the song. They start showing more light. That's what Michael Jackson did. He began to make the world look at what was going on in Ethiopia with these Africans. How they were starved to death. How it was a war-torn country, and they was Jewish, right? And we're watching a culture of Jews that we never knew existed. We never knew that there was black Jews. Because in America, unless you traveled, all Jews you seen was the ones that we see in Williamsburg, Brighton Beach. You know what I'm saying? And those are different tribes, right? You got the Germans, you got the Russian ones, you got the. So you don't know which tribe they are. You know, so there's no salute to them. This is just having a conversation, right? Having a conversation, innocent conversation. We're not going to shout. We're not trying to create no holy wars. We're just trying to create a conversation of look at what just came out of. Yeah. I like what you just said. Oh yes, we've seen them. We've seen them with priests. We've seen them with rabbis. We've seen them. See, we've seen that. We've seen them with Malcolm X, Martin King, and so on. Jesse Jackson. We've seen that. Like I said, going back to We Are the World. So now, the main thing that came out of that was a lot of people began to have those conversations. Who? They kept saying they was African Jews. International conversation when people started reading books about the African Jews and they say that they're the original Jews and whatever they put together in the books, and we're looking going, wait, but the Jews that we see on 4 or 5 blocks, that's my landlord. So that was a history lesson for us that, wait a minute, those Jews, the poorest Jews we ever seen was the ones that we seen in the You Are the World. That was a history lesson. That made us pick a book up. I made me pick a book up at least. Wait a minute, something's wrong here. Because the ones I seen, they not starving. You know what I'm saying? They own big buildings. They see turn around. These are bold presidents. These are guys of the elite. So how does, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. Because it starts off humble. It starts off right. And then it becomes monetary. I know that was a cultural shock because I didn't know. Like I told you, limited education have you not known. So thank you to Michael Jackson for putting together We Are the World. Because we didn't put together We Are the World, a lot of people my generation that didn't know would be talking about black Jews in Africa. You know what I'm saying? They never knew that. You know what I'm saying? I don't say it because of Michael Jackson. Because that's when his book up. But then we had KRS One to start making music and we started listening to that. Because I told you, when we went to school, unless you went to Stuyvesant High School or Brooklyn Tech or Bronx Science or LaGuardia, the specialized schools, history, in the library, it's Black History, 3 books. You know what I'm saying? Only the Brooklyn Techs, the higher educational institutions for high schools, unless you went to Catholic school or went to a private school. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Even watching The Godfather, they were still involved. Even these mafioso guys that had 30 bodies and 20 bodies and some all the drugs in the world in the black communities and all this other craziness, they still was donating money to the Catholic Church, bro. Still involved with the Catholic Church. Yeah. The first time I heard about, definitely said, was Reebok. A God body was telling me, yo, get the Reebok. What you talking about? He said, yo, man, boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh, shit. He said, nah, son. Yo, y'all bugging out, you're different blind, y'all be looking at the book, y'all paying attention to the news, and it's all about paying attention. And I looked and I said, yo, son is right, bro. I said, son is right. That made me pay attention more. That made me want to watch 2020, NBC, ask questions. The first time I heard the name Nelson Mandela came out of a God-body's mouth. A guy that was God-body, who was talking about Nelson Mandela. Yo, this is African. He was for the people. He locked him for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Harlem Double. He went to shout out to all the gangsters that went to Rice Catholic High School in Harlem. That's why people send their kids to Catholic school, because you got a better education. You learn a little bit more. One thing about the Catholic, you know what I'm saying? You learn a little more. I never knew that you couldn't get up for wine and bread if you didn't take a communion in a Catholic church. I never knew that. I got a lot of that. Check it out. So damn, what happened? You never took a communion. I never knew that. I learned that going to a Catholic church with my man John's moms. Just Anna Monday. And happy anniversary to Enrique and Anna Monday from my building. They've been married for 50 years. Great parents. So that's how I got in tune with the Catholic Church. I would spend the night at John's house, and his mother on Sundays would go, yo, I'll go to church with her, bro. That's how I went. I went to church. So I had a clear understanding of the unity within my team, because if anything else that came together with Latins was they all believed in the same God. Information, Hail Mary, all this other stuff. But boom, I'm not Catholic, so I can't really touch on that. You know what I'm saying? It's deep, man. It's a lot of history, man. Jay, none of that happens. The more that we have these history talks, the more our mind strays away from the negative and goes into being educated. Peach on, Avatar. Peach on, man. Last Jessup, salute to $5 donations. Salute, catch you later. Another topic, stocks and investing. Time to build. We're going to have more topics on this, man. I got the stream yard up and running, so we're going to have topics on this. I'm just not with the negative stuff. I'm just not, because I believe that we have a bigger conversation than that. And I'm going to tell you what got me into this mind state before I started fall back and trying to do the branding thing and going some social things. But you know what influenced some of this too is we're locked in. Mikey B and Moshe. Their platform is basically just knowledge, information. So it inspires me to have enough self-esteem to take a chance to speak about things like this. So they definitely help me out with having the courage. See, because a lot of times we don't think we know, so we don't want to be smart. It's easy to talk about stupid shit because it's familiar to everybody else. You know, more or less, form better. 212, yo, eat food, seafood, yo, son, pack. You know, those are, it's like a language that we are familiar with. Let's talk about something that's different. So we're going to do that. We're going to change the narrative. We're going to change the conversation. If you have somebody on your block, don't bring the block. Don't bring the beef to my block. I got nothing to do with the beef. Speak about your education, you know what you're talking about. Speak about what you know. We want to learn. We want to pick your brain. That was dope. The poetry that Sean 120 read. That's dope. Let's pick your brain. I'm not doing all the other because so much information came out of this. Some of y'all are driving trucks. Some of y'all are sitting with your kids, your grandkids. This guy's crazy. Just last week, he was talking some super blood shit. Now look at this. I gotta pick this shit up and see. Let me see this fool talk about facts. Let's talk about some facts. This guy's a nutcase. Let's see what this shit's doing. But it wasn't about. It was about, you know, original Wayne BX pulling up, having a great conversation. Harlem Double saying he went to Catholic school. Black Jesus, definitely both Ron's that was in the building. Fly Mike, that's the guys for Stroker. All you guys, JB, you know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that we always piggybacking off of each other's conversation. So if I didn't say it a certain way that it should be articulated, y'all fixed it. But I said, nah, Zeke, this boom, 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 boom. This is for the people. So this gives us a little bit more pride having these conversations. Because as we're speaking, some things just gotta make sense, don't it? And that's, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a shot at Malcolm X. Salute to Malcolm X and all he's done. But when you sit and you say you went to Africa, and the first time you seen a white Muslim was in, you mixed a lot with in Africa, you had some in here in America, but they were segregated, right? It took years for me to see Arab Muslims on 96th Street and 3rd Avenue at that Marsh Jib by Washington Projects, and I seen the black Muslims making salat together. It took a long time because it was over there when he built that masjid. It seemed like it was someone section off. I'm gonna tell you something I met at that masjid because my mother was Sunni Muslim. I met some Muslims from Spain, a group of Muslims from Spain, bro. White, blue eyes, Muslims from Spain. So, and at that masjid, it was more international. You just didn't have the Arabs. You had the Yugoslavians. It wasn't just black Muslims that came out of Attica prison. You had Slavics. You know what I'm saying? That's how, I don't know Slavic language, but my main Eli also that Slavic shit. Educated shit. When you grew up with us, Eli used to write graffiti. Those were my graffiti days. But I'm not saying he went to that masjid. I'm just saying how at that masjid it was more internationally based. And great friendships was doing for them because they got to understand more of the African American culture. When they was in America, they used to separate themselves. Y'all been to the Octopus stores where we felt like they was racist. A lot of us used to always say that the end of the doctrine has, we always felt like, they all Muslims. But no, they wasn't. A lot of them are Buddhists. There's so much other religions in this country, but we just go by what we think until we start to talk to them and realize, wait, he's Catholic, you from over here. What? You? Conversation, bro. Who'd have thought in Syria you got Hebrews in Syria? Who'd have thought in the country of Syria you got Catholics and Christians in Syria? Iraq, Iran. They may not have no power. They might they might get terrorized, but they're there. You know what I'm saying? Big build, man. Yo, I gotta get ready for my day. I gotta change the title because the title I have to put it's gonna have more substance, man. And I like the fact that Wayne OBX pulled up, man, and he has so much knowledge, man. And we finally got him to speak upon his knowledge and his history, some history shit that didn't pertain to prison. From a guy that was studying books before jail, did some time in the penitentiary and got out and still smart. We got to speak to a guy that they would put in another fraternity. And that man was speaking so much for education, man. Yes. They made us believe, average chatter, what you just said right there, that gang conversations are more relevant than these conversations. We run from this shit, but we can sit all day, talk about gangs all day. California, Mississippi, GD, folks, Maine Valentine was popping. We're talking about some shit that people were learning something. And it's not about us. We're not running the youth away. I want one of you niggas to show your grandkids shit and fuck what I'm talking about. Listen to what Wayno said, or what Abbott said about the Anglo-Saxons. And wait a minute, whoa, the Haitians. So these religions was like gangs. It was about profits and who controls who. Definitely. It's about who controls who, bro. It's about who controls who. Some of these countries, the head of the states was the king and the church. Yo, there's a church called the Russian Orthodox Church. I said, is that Catholic? Nah, they did some. It's a remix of the Catholic Church, but they don't want to believe in Catholicism. What? What's that? You know what I'm saying? That's how it is in other countries. To denounce another religion, they'll create their own religion. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I could be wrong, but Google the Russian Orthodox Church. Is it a part of the Catholic Church? This is deep. You know what I'm saying? Now, remind you, the Russian Catholic Church, who was the presidents of these countries when that church was up and running in power, even though Russia's still a communist country? The Stalins, the Lenins, and the rest of them. I believe the Nicholases. I don't know if the Nicholas family was a part of it that got kidnapped and thrown off the throne, but we know the politics. Exactly. Watch the games in New York. Watch the Bubbly Seagull. For all you guys who want to watch the same or similar, watch these movies that have history. They talk about some things. Watch Bugsy Siegel when he's talking with the Jewish guy. He's like, yo, he want to go. And he remember he felt like he supported the 7-Day War, whatever he was doing, and he wanted to become an Israeli, and he said, nada. You know what I'm saying? He was tight about it. And they never found his money again. Was it Bugsy Moran or Bugsy Siegel? It was one of those movies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's nothing. They created their own situation. You know what I'm saying? I could have saying it wrong. I like what you said, Big Drip. Russian Orthodox. That's the church. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's the church. I could be wrong, but like I said, say it in the chat. Yo, but with this being said, I have to get ready for my day. Got some things to do. Wifey, I love her. And I appreciate all y'all, man. I appreciate everybody, man. You know, let's keep it positive. Let's keep the energy positive. When we have these conversations for everybody. Because we're not talking amongst each other. We're talking about some education. We're not talking about individuals. Big Drip, I love what you said right there. Big Drip, Russian Orthodox. And follow what years that the Russian Orthodox Church had influence in the USSR. I remember in the 2000s, I believe the Catholic Church apologized to I guess the Catholic Church was allowing some Germans, I guess something with the Germans, and they wound up apologizing to one of these countries. I don't know if it was Germany or Poland, but the Catholic Church apologized for allowing, I guess, somebody who became the Pope. Before he was a Pope or a Cardinal, something he allowed the Germans to do something. I got to Google this. And he actually apologized. When he became the Pope, all that came back up and bite him in the ass. He began to speak about that. Now, I'm back in the building, man. I'm back in the building. I'm doing sort of both, but I'm back in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? W shots my man Disco Baller out there. The baller's balling, you know what I'm saying? Even though he ain't Mac Baller no more, he retired the situation. That's still the baller's baller, you know what I'm saying? These conversations, man. I believe these conversations have more. See, this is a dope conversation. Definitely salute to you, know what I'm saying? I remember 2 popes ago, even I think our Pope now, he's from Argentina, from South America. The Pope we have now, I believe he's from South America. We have a South American Pope. He's not from Italy, Rome, all the well-known Catholic spots. He's from South America. So dear. Hell yeah, we need these conversations, man. We need these conversations, man. And I think with these conversations, it's gonna be one. Definitely shout out to my man Cadillac Ty. He out there making moves. He's doing. I seen him the other day on I think 100 Entertainment. I seen him out there with them. Definitely shout out to 100 Entertainment. E-Bands was in the building, sending his salutes. We just supporting the people. You know what I'm saying? We're locked in. We locked in. It's all positive energy, man. It's all positive energy. It's energy for the people. You know what I'm saying? Energy that I hope on other platforms they speak to all the everything else. They have they take 10, 20 minutes out of their time to speak about something that's gonna make somebody go, yo, I'm gonna learn something today. Yo, he just said some shit that's gonna make me dig in the books. You know what I'm saying? You might lose 20 or 30 people following you, but it's worth the education. It's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to the media, we can't divide. We can't divide nothing. We can't divide who's who and what's what. All our history is locked into that. You know what I'm saying? But remember, right? They say this country is a separation between church and state. But in all our realities, when certain churches and states go through certain situations in this country, we see who because they got influence, they got money. Who'd have thought that Yasser Arafat owned a bowling alley in the West Village? When he passed away, it was worth millions. He owned a couple of buildings in the West Village. That's what a guy that we seen with a with a rag, well not in the rag, but the thing was head, walking around in the sands with some sandals in Israel, owned massive property, rich property in the city of New York City, just to say the least. I'm trying to tell you, it's a business. These people got their money tied up in business. It's all business, economics. You can't go to war without no economics. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because in England and other countries, the church played a large part to the state. Then you got the inner religions, like the Mormons. You got John. You got the inner fractions just swinging around. I've been to the Catholic Church. I've been to the church on Charles Street before, and on the west side, right by St. Lucas Hospital, that church right there, that big church, the cathedral, not the one that's downtown by Rockefeller Center, not St. Patrick's, the one that's uptown. I've been there before. I went on the class trip there. We went on the class trip there. Yep, he's from Argentina. You know what I'm saying? He's from Argentina. You feel me? He's from Argentina. Yep, he's from Argentina. So I see I have to change the title because more. I appreciate you, Ronald. You help me. You, Saladin. This is a conversation to make people think, bro. And they said that the Pope, he's more in tune with the cultures of now, so he sees things differently. He's from Argentina. Now what do they say? Tell us about Argentina. All the drugs in the world coming from South America, Colombia, Chile, Ecuador. They don't miss about everything else that come out of these countries that might be educational. You know what I'm saying? Now they never will, but this conversation is so deep it doesn't matter. But that's because it's the title I put. So I have to change the title. The title is what invites them. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna even if I talk about something positive, but the title I actually put invites them to troll like this. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get mad at the troll. All I could do is just send them to the store. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here, go get 2 Lucy's and a quarter. But the title do invite them in. You know what I'm saying? That peace. You know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to the 050 movement. Salute to them. You know what I'm saying? All these movements, like definitely Cloud Chaser. I think at least 10 minutes out of the show, dedicate that to something that's positive speaking. This guy, yes, we talk about some history, you know what I'm saying? In that game history, which is deep, and a lot of people pulled up, and we're educating each other. Because we could be wrong, the way, you know what I'm saying? But somebody, like what I'm liking in here is that nobody's going back and forth. This conversation is learning. There's something called learning, man. Sometimes you gotta be a listener. Be quiet, be a listener. You might learn something. Because you want to save your son's life, you gotta distract him to learn something else. Make something else interesting to know. Learn about culture. At some point, right, we keep saying we're here for the youth and the kids to try to fix the way they think and the way they see things. But if all we speak about is gang shit, what are you gonna learn out of that shit? I can ask a young kid, what's your family history? I don't know. We don't talk about that. How did the blood start in New York? Oh, no, the Crips came. Nah, son. We got to change that, bro. It's good to know, but you got to change that. How can you learn? Exactly, Harlem birthplace. How can you learn from, more about what's going on outside than your reality? So where's your pride coming at? So there's no black pride. You can't know black pride. Because your self-esteem ain't there. So you believe your self-esteem is being tough and disrespectful. That's not how it works in this world, bro. No, we used to say how the Puerto Ricans, even the Dominicans that came with the purple pants with the Jerry curls dripping, even they was cocky because they had a sense of culture. And that's why even in the mix of all the chaosness, they had a lot of stores, they was in the music industry, they was in companies, they was becoming cops, they was becoming firemen, because they had some self-esteem, because they had some type of culture. They could have a cultural conversation, because what makes me and Italians one is the Catholic Church. So we can just have I'm going to church Sunday. I'm going to church this Sunday. This means the gatherings together. The gatherings. Capitalism is a worldwide thing. It's bigger than that. They just point the cameras at us. It's bigger than that, bro. What's one thing Irish, Argentinians, Ecuadorians, Puerto Ricans, some Dominicanos, some Honduras, right? Honduras. When those like capitalism, football, soccer. Soccer's a worldwide thing. Worldwide thing. I can't forget about Latin. My Latin king, Latin Pain was in the building. It's a worldwide thing. When I joined the soccer team in 5 Points Max, just to move around, I played soccer with Honduras, dudes from Honduras, Mexicans, not Mexicans, but Honduras, Nicaragua. That was in jail, that was locked up. Some Irish. You know what I'm saying? This is the culture, bro. This is the culture. Love all the people, bro. This is the culture. The culture, right? Soccer. Football, they're called football, which is in Brazil, right? Bing. It's a worldwide sport. It's in Africa, it's in India, it's in China. It's even in Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? Hit them up, yes, but ass. Influence. It's an influential thing. The second thing to soccer, all right, copy, I got you. The second thing to football is cricket. Stick. That's a worldwide sport. Worldwide, what's it? Cricket, right? With the glove. They played in India. They played in China. They played in Great Britain. Cricket is what turned into modern day Major League Baseball. Cricket is what turned into modern day baseball. Major League Baseball. What cricket turned into. That's a worldwide thing. Definitely when you go to again, it brings people together. Gatherings bring people together. Meet and greets. bring people together? What brings most of the people that's in the Mediterranean together? Cricket. I could be saying it's a thing stick, they like stick ball, they got the gloves. So that's another that sport has a lot of influence that bring the people together. So then you think about it. What's one thing when you work at a construction site that everybody have together? Yeah, rugby turned into football. That's another sort of worldwide thing because everywhere that these countries took over, they put the influence in their sports. Shout out to Haiti. Shout out to the Haitians. And that's what I like what Esau just said. Yeah, we all facts. Pain about the individual, not the race. Regardless, brother, I am not equal. He's being an individual. When the individual come out, then that's the information, bro. Shout out to Haiti. Shout out to the Haitians, man. All we see about the Haitians is disasters and coups. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they get together eventually, but it's all we see in the country of Haiti. You know what I'm saying? It's all economics. Since William and Clark doing these great travels across the world, the Midwest. Right? Daniel Boone. Remember? You used to watch that stupid show with the Daniel Boone had on the raccoon and all that. You seen all that. Daniel Boone, the great Daniel Boone. How are we going to fix this situation? This is all history, man. This is actually like a flower alive. This is dope, man. You definitely go follow me locked in. And the rest of these, because it's a transition. I am on Clubhouse though, Z Black. You can follow if you like. I'm gonna do some shows over there. It's all about love, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about love, man. And love comes from information, man. Jeff Lowe was popping. Jeff Lowe, here we go. I like this guy right here, though. Jeff Lowe was popping. You know what I'm saying? These conversations, and see, when you put a certain title up, you attract a certain crowd. Even though people do the trolling thing, but certain titles attract a certain crowd. So now if I talk about hip hop, I'm going to attract a hip hop crowd, a young hip hop crowd, and there's no information comes out of it. Now the only reason why I didn't zap this guy yet is because the title. But it doesn't take away from the information, John Shaft. The information is so important, the information. A person so much worried about game time can't break down his own nationality, but can break down what the UBN stands for. They tell you about all the Constitution in the UBN, but can't break down nothing that deals with culture where you can sit in the room and learn something and get some money. Because the people y'all call the culture vultures that control the culture, they come from something, some type of religion. Some type of religion, bro. Some type of God that they believe. All of them are not atheists. They all do this. On Sunday, we're going to church. I'm in your city. We have some dinner, we eat some pork, and then we're going to church on Sunday. For all the pork eaters, the non-pork eaters, we're gonna go eat some vegan, and then we will be at the church on Sunday. We all believe in the same thing, the same God. That's one thing the mafia had in common. You got to be Italian. Their families, their mothers was deep-rooted Catholics. So them still, even though I'm killing, people in this deadly streets. My son had a communion yesterday, and I was praying to God. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? The MS-13 that just say is a savage that's cutting heads off, his mother goes to Catholic church somewhere on Long Island. Let's make it make sense. So who really got the juice? This is deep. Voodoo was created in Africa. Whenever a villager got sick, they gave them plants, medicine, and healed them. Don't they do that today now? Don't they have healing processes? Don't they use some of these plants like cocaine and heroin to put in these medicines for actual procedures? Some of them, to say the least. I don't know all the plants they use. Poison ivy and all this other stuff, penicillin, whatever they use. Right? Yeah. It's history, bro. This is history. So now, I'm not gonna sit here and call you young dumb niggas. What I'm gonna say is y'all conversations is like hood books. I can put 4 books in front of you, but you're gonna pick up Dutch 1, Dutch 2. Be more careful. But you're not gonna pick up something that's gonna make your mind ask questions. Yo, when I played on the soccer team, the part that fucked me up was I was playing with, a different variety of races. Brother, I don't even know. I don't really know about that. That part I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I'm gonna say is that we stopped educating ourselves once we started talking more about gang politics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We stopped educating ourselves. It comes to a point where we got to take advantage of the information that we're given. I remember I went to a Greek Bronx business meeting. Shout out to my man that brought me there at the truck spike brought me there. And the most important part about it was Greek business. All those Greek restaurants that we laugh at, all the Greek diners, these guys are millionaires. And I actually ate that we had to pay $150 a plate to sit at a gathering they have every 3 years. Because the guy who brought me there, he owns a business, so he got the plug to get in. Plus, he's cool with these. He's a small guy, African American brother that networks with people in power, people that's in position. So that keeps him in position for the business that he's in. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, look deep into the narratives, right? Rico was written for, we know, the Italians and the other mobs, right? Had nothing to do with us. Really. It wasn't looked upon as being criminal enterprise. Remember, they didn't believe a black man can rule until they found out. Remember, Bumpy Jones was a strong person, but Bumpy Jones wasn't getting the bag out of Asia himself. They couldn't believe that a black man could be the plug to the mafia. Frank Lucas did that. What year did they finally figure that out? The late 70s, early 80s? So now you think about, definitely send that info to me. So now y'all think about what I'm about to tell you. It took them to 70 to like 79 to realize no matter how many years there's been drugs in America. They had opium spots by the Bowery, by Canal Street. Chinatown, they had a place where you smoked opium. The first time I seen that was a movie called Once Upon a Time in America. People would go downtown to smoke opium. So heroin been here forever. Cocaine been here forever. There's never been the plug, right? So it was never to our advantage when it came to. We was never threatened, no economic, no way of form. But we didn't realize that our back was against the wall because of world power. World power. Think about worldly power. What do all the major ops have in common that hate us? Religion. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? How certain religions don't go against certain religions. And these people that's following these religions are inserting some sort of power. Look at the guy, I think he passed away, but at one point he had one of the number one oil resources in Honduras. What's his name? Cubo, or whatever his name was. They hated him. You know what I'm saying? He had that oil in Honduras, I believe. I forgot it's Hugo. He died though. He was creating a communist, economic communist. He was putting people in power in all these Latino countries. He passed away. Yep, Venezuela. My bad, Venezuela. He had that oil, bro. Remember the money he was putting other people in position of power. He just took off what Che Guevara's Che was trying to do when it came to Latin countries. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of these rules and laws that we think is dedicated to us wasn't even written for us. The original war on drugs was against the hippies. That's what I read. That's what I heard. Richard Nixon's original war was against the hippies. Because the hippies was against the Vietnam War. But that was good cliche. That was, we'll just say, a good charade, great deflection, right? The real war on drugs with the hippies, because the hippies was the deadheads. Remember? They popped acid. They was all about peace. But one thing about the hippies was they was rich kids. That was just rebelling, that just wanted to show love. These were the rich kids. And most of these rich kids became what's known as Bill Gates and the rest of them. A lot of them, yep, a lot of them became, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of them became, yep, exactly. That's been here. We never had no influence. That's how Chinatown's different, little Korean town and Flushing, Queens, but then when you go in Flushing, Queens, you think it's all Koreans on Main Street, then you go further up and it's influence, money. But you got to go right by Flushing Hospital and all that. Queens High, was that Flushing Hospital? History lesson, man. But you have to do your own, don't just listen to me, do your own research. Do your own research. Hugo Chavez, Venezuela. They hated him. He said that oil game, he was killing him with the oil game. You know what I'm saying? Yo, but I've been on this all morning, man. I gotta do the family thing. Appreciate y'all thing coming through. I gotta change the title. Because see, the title is what brings the different age group. And now, like I said, let's don't knock the youth. Let's get them to think. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah, bro. It's because economics puts you in a position of power. You know what I'm saying? Some people they don't realize that, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't go back. I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's a dirty game, man. It's the truth, though. You know what I'm saying? I was splitting that yard. You know what I'm saying? But I was doing like I was trying to get home. You know what I'm saying? But by me having the financials, I didn't have to sit around the circle all day. Because I had my own money. I'm spending the yards for my black and mouth, just talking my talk. It was going on. Keeping my mind because I knew I didn't want to be in jail. Like, yo, I'm not trying to stay in jail. So I stood what you call sucker free. In other words, sucker duck free. I had jobs, like I had outside clearance. There's no way I'm in this. I got outside clearance. I actually cleaned the desk of a superintendent in jail. Mow lawns outside the gate. You think I want to blow that? I was in the honor dorm. Trying to get out of here. I'm saying, I'm trying to make this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make this. I blew my memory board getting into a little fight. You think, not changing subject, let's get into the get down. Now, do you think I want to go that far to cut something in the yard and do 2 summers. That doesn't make mathematical sense. So as an OG or a G, you don't repeat something that doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But you do repeat it. It's okay. I'm not mad. I don't get mad at that shit because it has to make sense. I was in the honor dorm. I was. I had refrigerators. You know what I'm saying? I got told you I spent over $120 in commissary, so I was good. I ordered me some sneakers out the catalog. I had all type of nice sneakers and nice little button-ups, the polo shirts. So why would I want to blow that? To spin the yard with a butt. But half the niggas that spin in the yard with don't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it make sense. I got outside clearance. Shout out to my man Shamik. Y'all might even know Shamik. Shamik is from Roosevelt Projects. If you know who he is, if you're known for Roosevelt Projects, some Zeke Black sends his love, man. That's my guy, bro. He had caught 50 years. I got a reverse soon. He caught a brand new bit. I know his last name. His name is Shamik. He's from Roosevelt. He used to be around Sumner and all that. I was, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I was in the honor dorm. I enjoyed that shit. I wasn't in jail all day, bro. I got to clean the superintendent desk. We eat pizza. They used to steal liquor. We used to sip on some wine here and there. Mowing lawns. Why blow that? You know what I'm saying? Why would I want to blow that? So let's make it make sense. But in the world, boom, in the world of that fraternity, that doesn't it doesn't make sense. So that's why it's time to move away. Because it doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna argue about how I want to be free so I can be my kids and my daughter and still stay what you say honorable, not signing the PC or not get nobody caught up. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Though I basically got to explain that. So I'm explaining that. That's why I have to do that. But somebody said, Ronald said, and later in history, the government fought the war on black and brown. That's a fact. We began to kill each other. You remember, the original war on drugs was against the hippies. It wasn't even the Italians. It was the hippies, I believe. The hippies and the Moroccans that was bringing the heroin. But they started going off on the marijuana and the hippies. The PCP, whatever shit they put together, they blamed the hippies in some sort of form. The hippies became an influence in America 30 years later. Our teachers, watch that show Blackish. You get the drip. Teachers, a lot of their parents had money. For those that don't know what the hippies was, the last generation of them followed Deadhead music, like the Fish and the Grateful Dead. You got rich kids that actually follow these tours, that sleep in the streets. You want to go to, you want some mushrooms, you follow that, the Grateful Dead type of music, the Deadheads, you know what I'm saying? That's what we call them. That's the lost tribe of the hippies, you know what I'm saying? This is true, they're on black and brown, the media does this. But with that being said, party people, this was a great show. But I have to do the family thing. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. This is a great topic. A lot of people pulled up. I gotta change the title. I have to change the title, man. I was chatter pulled up. This is great, man. I just like to salute my community, Spanish Harlem. East Harlem, New York City. Salute to West Side St. Louis. Salute to all y'all, 5 boroughs. Shaw 120 pulled up, U.S. and Poetry. Saladin pulled up. Salute, Yanni, salute. This is just, I gotta change the title because the title was gonna bring the negative. We don't want the negative, so we gotta change the title here. We're gonna move forward, moving the culture forward. Shout out to my man P. P out there, loses his mind. P out there. You know, y'all know P from the Bronx. He's in Clubhouse. He's moving the culture forward. He's moving the culture as far as he can. One thing, like I said, one thing about our culture vultures in the real world, as we say, what do they have? Most of them have in common? Religion. Most of them have in common religion. Religion. That's what most of them have in common, religion. So from a different type of what you're going to war with, how the world is changing. Pay attention to global warming. Watch the History Channel sometime. Watch National Geographic. Understand how the picture that he painted, not because he laughed at it, to the world. According to the rest of the world, all we do is gangbang in America. We kill each other. According to people that's in France, people that's in Russia, people in Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, all they're warriors, they're savages. That's all they see on the news. So what happened with BBC and Genza, Yelza, Yenzi, what they promote to us is the savagery that go on in Central America in their countries. But then we see in our face in our country, they come here, they own corner stores, gas stations. You know what I'm saying? In their countries, they don't see that. So it's more believable that the black man ain't shit, or the black, or even the brown man ain't shit. Compared to over here, look at the Arabs. Look at Saddam Hussein, he a bug out. 9/11, But you know he one of the rich. His family's one of the richest families in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. His kids go to school in America. So that said, police not be. I gotta change the title. I'm gonna name this show "Community Talk." You know what I'm saying? Community conversation. With that being said, Feliz Navidad. Man, John with Monday, Sunday with Monday. You know, shout out to the graffiti crew that I was writing graffiti with, PT 131, Shop TWB, Spawn GNR, TDO. You know, DE3357. That's people that influenced my cousin DJ Passion, DJ Toast from WRPI, DJ Show, DJ Biz from Albany, you know what I'm saying, 518, Sienna, WVCR. There's other Latin. There's another Latin out there that they read in these Catholic churches. Learn that Latin too. Because that Latin has a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, man, shout out to Cosmo Bay. He pulled up in the building. So what we want, man, we want peace, love, and unity. You know what I'm saying? And just it's not about just supporting. It's about getting the youth to think about something else, conversate about something else. A lot of people don't even know that football, soccer is a worldwide thing because we don't speak about it. That being said, peace, love, and unity. Peace.